So you're telling me that Fat Joe was in Big Pun's entourage, and he's the one that got pegged with the nickname as Fat.
Yeah.
He was like half the weight of Big Pun.
Yeah, I would assume Big Pun gave him that name to try to divert some of the heat.
Check out that guy. He's pretty fat, right?
Look at that fat dude over there. And everybody was like, I guess.
See, what I'm thinking is it was actually the exact opposite of that, where the rest of the crew got together and they were like, yo, we're really starting to get worried about Big Pun's weight because he's like 600-something pounds.
Let's make him feel better
for
Christmas.
I think, let's point it out that like, yo, you know that guy in our entourage is half your size?
Fat.
He's fucking fat.
So
that makes you
like,
what?
Big Pun's like, yeah. That guy is fat.
We're worried about you.
What? Why? Why? Is it because I was sitting on a four-wheeler in that one music video and it looked like it was about to bust?
Oh, no. Did he really?
It looked pretty rough.
Welcome, hip-hop fans, to the greatest horror movie review podcast in all the land. Why, it's dead and lovely. Here with the host with the most. It's me, Uncle Ben.
Me, Hollywood Steve.
And we're here to bring you guys a very special Christmas horror episode of the show. We're going to be talking about all things Christmas, all things Krampus, and more this week. How you been doing this week, Steve?
I've been great, man.
Yeah, been a busy week, huh?
It has been busy and fun and getting a lot done.
TCB, baby.
TCB, baby.
I heard that, dude. It has been freaking hectic. I mean, apparently it's halfway through the Christmas season already.
Yeah, I hadn't even noticed that.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah, I haven't done anything Christmassy.
Not wrapped a present.
Until I got to your house today, hadn't heard Christmas music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I need to get on it because I first off need to watch Dial Code Santa on Shudder.
I don't know that one. What's that?
It was a movie that came out in like 87 or something.
Okay.
And basically Home Alone is a ripoff of it.
Oh, shit. For real?
Yeah, it's just like a really unknown sort of movie. It's a foreign movie. But it Home Alone basically rips it off. But Dial Code Santa is a horror movie.
Well, shit. That sounds cool.
Which gives more credence to the idea that Home Alone is a horror movie, and it's the Jigsaw prequel.
There you go. Yeah. Listen to our Home Alone episode from last year to hear our thoughts on that one.
Yeah, so I've been wanting to watch that. I tried to watch Anna and the Apocalypse the other day.
How's that?
I couldn't get into it. It's like High School Musical with zombies, and it's at Christmas.
I mean, that sounds pretty fucking appealing.
Fun,
yeah.
But then it was just like... But like the concepts is fun, but then the execution is still High School Musical. So it's like, well, I hate this.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about Dippin' Dots.
The Ice Cream of the Future?
The concept's fine. I'm all for the future. Bring in the innovation.
Yeah.
But are you telling me it's better than ice cream? Go fuck yourself.
It truly is not better than
Absolutely
ice cream.
Not better than ice cream.
It's very icy.
It's too cold.
It's
too cold.
Soft serve's the way to go, but... It doesn't have the creaminess of the regular old hand scooped. So what you need is to get your hand scooped ice cream warmed up to the right exact temperature where it's like just starting to melt.
Yeah, okay.
You get that soft serve consistency with all the nice creaminess
Smooth.
of real ice cream. Yeah.
I think that the whole like branding of soft serve was just there to like put a smear campaign against traditional ice cream values. I think the original idea...
You guys know how hard ice cream is.
Oh, it's just so hard, am I right?
Crunch, crunch.
He says as he like soft serves out a twirly cone. I'm so tired of all that hard cream.
Yeah.
You know that old hard serve?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Old school traditional ice cream.
Have you ever
hard
had
serve?
country ass home style ice cream?
Sometimes it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Usually it sucks.
Usually it sucks. My grandfather makes it really well. He's got like one of those old hand crank.
Yep.
Yeah.
All the
My
salt
grandfather does a good job with it. But yeah, sometimes it turns out into just like pure ice crystals
just
with cream.
Icy. Yep.
Yeah.
The problem is with people's homemade ice cream they be trying to make, they skip what they call the ripening period.
Okay.
They churn it up, they get it all stirred up, and serve it immediately.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like a steak or something where you gotta rest that motherfucker. You gotta
rest it.
Yeah, exactly. Because
I've been learning the virtues of resting recently because it really I always rest my chicken for like 10 minutes before cutting into it, but you give a little more time and that flavor evens out.
Let that thing relax a little bit. It's had a hard day.
Yeah.
let it rest.
Yeah.
Same with the ice cream.
Same with the ice cream. Okay.
That's the way you do it right there,
Okay.
man. Okay, so anyway, Anna, whatever, not so much.
And in the Apocalypse, yeah, I only made it about 10 minutes in. Maybe if I was in the right mood. I don't know, though, because, like, I've seen High School Musical, the first one. It's terrible. It's a terrible movie.
Drivel.
And it was so popular among the Mormons that people would be playing it all the time at parties and stuff.
Oh my
you know
God.
how a Mormon party gets, of
Wild,
course.
wild, ripping.
Somebody maybe drinks half a Red Bull.
Uh-oh.
Woo!
Somebody slips in an R-rated movie.
Damn, what's this?
Somebody says, damn.
Somebody said, damn. Woo! Somebody goes all out and says, shiz.
No way.
Yeah.
Look out. Oh, crumbs.
Never heard that. Heard frick and shiz a
Oh,
lot.
I hate hearing frick. Dude.
Frick is
That's one of
terrible.
those just fucking pisses me off, man.
Yeah.
Just say the word.
Seriously, limiting your vocabulary is dumb. If you've chosen to pick certain words that you just think are dirty for no reason,
Yeah.
like, rethink it. Just think for a second, like, why is that dirty? And why is it bad to say?
The problem for me is that, you know, for a lot of people, the problem with vulgarity is the intent of the word that you're saying.
Yeah.
But if you're saying frick, it means you really wanted just to say fuck.
Yeah.
So the intent is still the same.
Also, I know a ton of Christians with the, like, I don't cuss thing that still say the N-word.
Yeah, that's true.
And don't see why you shouldn't say it.
Yeah, Mark Twain, get out of here.
But if you say fuck around them, they're like, oh, please, don't say that around me. And it's like, all right,
Such
snowflake.
putrid language.
You're cool with saying the N-word, denigrating an entire population of people. But if I say fuck in your presence, you ask me not to.
Cross the line.
And expect me not to. Because if I ask you not to say the N-word, you're just going to argue with
Why
me.
you gotta be so sensitive, libtard?
Exactly. Fucking assholes.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, you're not wrong. Dude, we've been getting in the Christmas spirit a little
Good.
bit around here.
What you been doing?
We've been trying to watch ourselves a couple of Krampus movies.
What you been watching?
All right. So the first one that we kicked off the season with was The Night Before, which is the one with like Seth Rogen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I haven't seen that one.
Dude, you haven't?
Is it good?
Yeah, you should fucking watch it. It's great, man. That's a really, really, really fun watch.
Yeah. I need some new Christmas ones, so let me write that down.
It's one of those ones that, like, the first time that I watched it, I think it was maybe it got a little bit more sad at the end than I thought that it would.
Okay.
You know, sometimes
it's
a Christmas
comedy,
movie gets a
but
little sad, you know.
It's got some sincerity and seriousness.
It does.
Okay.
It does. And I think I wasn't anticipating that the first time I watched it. So I was like, yeah, I liked it, but it got kind of dark towards the end.
Right.
But I think every subsequent time that I watched it, knowing that's how the movie goes, I've liked it more and more.
Okay.
It's a rip-roaring, fun watch.
I need to watch it then.
And we've been so busy here around the house, always working on stuff, that there's been a couple of days here where we've been like, you know, we're both working on stuff. We're both working on doing, you know, shopping online or editing stuff or whatever. But we want to have a Christmas movie on. So it's like, should we watch something that we've either seen a million times before that we can just have on as background?
Love Actually.
Yeah, exactly. Or do we want to just put on something that's just pure drivel that we don't really have to pay attention to?
Okay.
So we've been going with option B here.
Yeah,
lately.
that's a good choice.
The first one that we watched, I think it was on Hulu, if I'm not mistaken. I can't strongly recommend this movie enough.
Okay.
It's a Cinderella Christmas.
Oh, no.
Dude, this fucking movie. It's like a straight-to-TV Hallmark kind of movie, you know?
Yeah.
You would not even believe this fucking movie.
I've seen a lot of Hallmark movies in my time. I think I might believe it. I would be enraged at it, but
my God.
I might believe it.
This is one of those ones where you watch it, and your first thing is like, definitely a guy wrote this because women don't act this way. Like, the main character is this like drop dead gorgeous chick with like no self-esteem, you know, and is like awkward and stuff like this. You're like, a man wrote this. But then like later on, you get to like the relationship stuff and like meeting the men, and you're like, oh no, a man did not write this.
I think. Okay, so
I think an algorithm wrote this movie, is what I'm saying.
All right,
a bot wrote this.
Have you heard of the Manic Pixie Dream Girl? This is a trope.
You've mentioned this to me.
Right,
Yeah.
So it's a trope like basically every character Zooey Deschanel plays, Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Basically just this sort of ethereal woman who drops in and out of your life and completely revolutionizes everything about you.
Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, like Stevie Nicks. Yeah. I'm gonna propose the opposite of the Manic Pixie Dream Girl, which is the Hallmark Secret Princess.
Ooh, yeah, that's a thing.
These are all written by men. These are what men desire. They either want the Manic Pixie Dream Girl, the girl who comes in and changes your life with her crazy hair color, or
Dharma.
Walking around without... Yeah, Dharma.
Yeah.
Or the Hallmark Secret Princess, which is the woman who's absolutely gorgeous and everybody knows it, but she somehow is like, I guess I'm not pretty.
That's this movie, dude.
Yeah, like there are men out there that really are thinking like, Dream Girl, well, she'd be gorgeous but not know it. Why is that? What?
That's
Why
desirable.
Is that a positive thing. I want her to be gorgeous, know she's gorgeous, and be confident about it.
I want her to look great, but I want the world to have beat the shit out of her.
Yeah,
like, what?
Fuck you.
But dude, that's seriously like somebody that thinks that way definitely wrote this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if it was a guy or a girl. I want to say it was like an ambiguous name like Casey, where it's like, it could be either one.
Yeah.
It's like a really shitty, like they just tried to make it Cinderella as much as possible, and then realized they had written a fucking horrible movie, and they're like, well, if we set it at Christmas, some people will watch it sometime during the year.
Yep.
So they made
turn
it
on
Christmas.
that Hallmark channel and just leave it on around Christmas.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
And so it's all these like Cinderella tropes. There's this crazy thing where like the chick is like an event planner, and this guy looks like the cover of like a romance novel.
They always have jobs that are like both super stressful and ambiguous enough that the person watching has no idea what that person actually does. So just showing her running around back and forth is like, oh, must be a stressful job. Yeah.
And this guy who, like I said, just is fucking gorgeous and has like this giant inheritance.
Of course he does.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Because money.
Right.
And they're planning this like ball that he's gonna throw. Which, get this, it's a Chris Masquerade ball.
Jesus.
It's a Chris Masquerade ball.
No, it's not. Somebody thought that was genius and
I
wrote
know.
an entire fucking movie around the
they
idea
thought
of a Chris
Masquerade.
They thought of that and
first.
worked backwards. Yeah.
I'm just saying, trademark Dead and Lovely. If it hasn't been done yet, I don't know why there hasn't been a Chris Massacre movie. Chris Massacre?
That is
surely
good.
That exists.
That is good.
That's good, right?
That is actually good.
The Chris Massacre.
I'll have to look that up. I that does not sound familiar, but I bet there is.
But it's a 10.
Like,
it's a winner.
Yeah, it's a good. Like that series. Like, see, Chris Massacre is an idea you write down and then work your way back, and you're fine, because it's the general idea of the entire movie is it's set at Christmas and there's a massacre.
Right. It's all right.
The general idea of this movie is not it's set at a masquerade ball during Christmas. That's just an event that happens.
Yeah.
But somebody wrote that down and they were like, that's good enough. That'll do it. And then they went into Hallmark and they were like, Hallmark's like, okay, what do you got?
I don't know.
Maybe, what do you got? Chris Masquerade?
Sold.
What'll that do for you?
Sold.
You're welcome.
I think that there's like a big motivational poster in like the Hallmark Films boardroom that just says, it's good enough.
Good enough.
Good enough.
Yeah. It's a sign above the door that they hit as they walk out. It just says good enough.
Boom. And so she like disguises herself and goes to the Chris Masquerade herself. And there's this ridiculous thing where like they draw stockings, like everybody's brought a stocking, and he's left with her stocking that has all of her stuff. But they've already fallen in love at this point.
Yeah, so what?
And then she has to leave, which leaves him with the stocking and him trying to figure out who.
She had some like event planning to do.
Yeah.
She had to go.
Oh, yeah. Those events they're not going to plan themselves.
Nope.
But, dude, the guy's lines in this, I swear to God, man, like, I'm pretty sure that they just took, like, Donald Trump quotes or quotes or tweets.
Yeah.
And just, like, very slightly changed them, like, a little bit. Like, after they've had, like, the masquerade meeting and fallen in love and stuff, right? But she's trying to keep her identity secret for no reason, I guess.
Right.
There's this one part where she, like, goes to him because he's planning his second event in which he is hosting a second Christmas Eve ball in which, if this mystery woman shows up, her prize is she gets to marry him. Seriously, that's in the movie. And she's dropping all these vague hints like, well, what if the mystery woman was right in front of you? Blah, 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 blah. But he's all like just completely like, I don't remember meeting you. And she's like, oh, we met before at the thing. And he's like, I've met more amazing women in my life than you would even believe. It's not uncommon for me to forget them. It's like, what in the fuck? It's unreal, dude. Unreal. It's a 10. It's a fucking fantastic movie is what I'm saying.
Great.
Make your Christmas better and watch that.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'll definitely rush home and find that. What the fuck?
You wouldn't believe it. I mean, there's so many lines in this movie. I wish I would have been writing them down because they were unbelievable, dude. And of course, she still falls in love with him and stuff.
I bet the writer wished he had been writing them down too. He's like, man, that was good.
That was a good
when
pickup
did they come
line.
Up with that?
Yeah.
Because I bet on set at those Hallmark movies, there's a lot of like, all right, what could she say here?
You say a line, pick one.
Yeah.
And then the other one that we watched the other night was The Night Before, KNIGHT.
Oh, fucking.
And this movie, it was very seriously, it was just Kate and Leopold, only it was at Christmas.
Oh.
You know, with Meg Ryan and Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. But at the end, did it turn out that like it was incest, like in Kate and Leopold?
Oh, was that a thing?
Yeah, I think they cut the scene.
What?
But like, basically, she found out that she was related to
Why?
him.
Why?
I don't remember. Look it up. I'm pretty positive of this, that Kate and Leopold at one point had an element where they were related.
Awesome.
And I think either they cut it before it went to theaters, but I feel like the story was they cut it for DVD.
Okay.
Because people noticed it in the theaters and were like, wait a second. I'm not positive on this, though. Check it out. Kate and Leopold. Dude,
this movie, though, The Night Before, or whatever it was called, it had like this guy who was totally just like Kmart brand Heath Ledger from like Knight's Tale.
Oh, no.
He was the guy that got transported into these times so he could hook up with, what's her name? Former Disney girl, like Vanessa Hudgens.
Vanessa Hudgens?
Gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Very likable person. But, you know, he's got to bring back his true love or whatever.
Right.
And this guy shows up and he's instantly very okay with the modern world, which makes no sense. And he doesn't try to like rape or enslave anybody, which also makes no sense. But the best part of the movie is there's this one guy in the flick, I think it was like maybe her dad or something, clearly did not speak a word of English and was saying all of his words phonetically.
Right.
And I'm like, why is this guy in the movie? He clearly doesn't even know what he's doing, nor is he an actor. Like, he was totally somebody's cousin's fucking best friend's dad that owed him a favor, so they put him in the movie. He seriously talked very, very, very much like fucking Tommy Wiseau in the middle of this other normal, like, Hallmark movie. There's a scene in there where, like, I guess Vanessa's character is like Brooke, and he's like, "Hey, Brooke, Merry Christmas." Like, just complete phonetic. Like, you don't know what those words mean, dude.
Yeah, he's just saying the syllables.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, great movie. Strongly recommend.
You know, okay. I'd like a response to this, maybe. If we have any listeners out there who watch these movies where a man comes from the past or a woman goes back into the past and they fall in love.
Yeah.
Anybody who's into those stories, please answer me this. Especially if you're a woman. What do you think will happen if someone comes from the 16th century and is in a relationship with you? Do you think you'll be leaving the home? Do you think you'll have a job? Be allowed to talk to other men? Be allowed to
wear pants?
Yeah. What is the
fascination there?
Yeah, where's it? And they'll stink. They'll be
that too. Yeah. Like very different standards.
It's ridiculous. They'll have bad teeth. They'll stink. Their breath will be awful. Like
they'll be dead before they're 33.
Yes. Well, I mean, 16th century. They'll probably live to be in their 50s or 60s, but still, like, I'm just saying, it's like
it's not a setup for romance.
It's not, and in fact, like a ton of these, like the idea of courtly love and the knight and his chivalric code and stuff. Most of that has nothing to do with interactions with women.
And I'll tell you this, I can tell you for a fact.
Yeah.
Courtly love's what killed Kurt Cobain.
Yep, that was the one. She did it. Oh, Courtly Love.
Courtly Love.
But like, there's nothing romantic about it.
No.
Just read any of read Sir Gawain, that tale where he basically assaults an old lady or something. I don't remember. Anyway, he assaults somebody. I don't remember. And then like an old lady like forces him to marry her, and then she turns into a beautiful princess. And I guess the
moral, sometimes rape works out.
Yeah, like
what?
It's ridiculous.
That's
But
awful.
like somebody's reading that and going like, yeah, that's my kind of man. The fuck?
What's the matter with you people?
Yeah, I know we've all seen Heath Ledger as a knight, but there was nothing, not even close to how it would be in real life.
No. You been watching anything to get in the spirit? Any Christmas movies or anything good on the streams this week?
We did watch some stuff on Friday night.
Yeah, what'd you watch?
I've only really watched The Office. I haven't really sat down to watch anything. I tried to watch Anna and the Apocalypse, didn't really take. But on Friday night, we decided to go for more good bad.
Look out!
Like it's not a great movie, but it's fun to watch. So we started with Slumber Party Massacre, which I think is a pretty good.
Okay, awesome.
Like, you know, it's fine. It's fun. It's got elements to it that are definitely like cool, but it's also, you know, just a slasher.
Yeah, just another crap slasher movie, but a fun watch. Okay, that's good.
And then we watched Ghost House.
Ghost House. I don't know this one. You've seen it and you don't know it.
Yeah, it had like 3 different killers, but they weren't working together. There was no like plan. And one of the killers was a house, of course. But like,
killer house, okay.
Inside the house, there were other killers. And then there was also a guy who was just killing, like, recreationally, I think. I have no idea what was going on.
This place sounds dangerous, dude.
It was directed by an Italian director.
Okay.
You could tell.
Because of all the spaghetti in the movie.
Yeah, there's a ton of spaghetti. Everybody kept going, "Mwah, mamma mia."
Was there a scene where like an elevator opened and just a wave of spaghetti came out?
And everybody's eyes got wide with excitement instead of terror.
And they ate the spaghetti.
They ate the spaghetti.
Manja!
Elevator spaghetti! So it was, so it had that like weird giallo feel to it.
I like that.
But like not weird in the way that like the weirdness adds to the feel of the movie. Just more of the way the weirdness is like, oh, well, that was not like the main female protagonist. She, of course, speaks syllables. She doesn't speak English.
Okay.
So it's all just stringing together syllables, and like a lot of the things seemed really like dubbed over, but like also not dubbed over. So it was like they actually got it in the take, but then I guess the sound wasn't good, which is what happened with a lot of giallo films. Totally. Is why they're dubbed over. Sound was bad. And in fact, they usually just planned to dub it over.
Yeah, they didn't even do audio.
Yeah. So, but in this case, I think they had the sound, but they just did it to make it more like a giallo film.
That's really every time they ass backwards and weird.
Yeah, it's like really strange. Anyway, it was interesting, and the effects were cool.
Okay.
So it definitely hit the level of good bad, where like the effects were really good, and there was some creepy shit. Also, I'm pretty sure the Poltergeist remake ripped off the clown design from Ghost House.
Oh, really?
You know, because the remake clown doesn't look like the clown from the first one, but it looks so much like the clown in Ghost House, which I assume is, you know, whoever was involved in that, who had never seen all of Poltergeist and just saw the clown scene and thought, I guess that's what the movie's about.
It's a clown movie, right?
Yeah.
All right. Clown movie.
They obviously saw that movie and were like, well, nobody will know that I ripped this design off.
Okay, yeah. Wow, man.
Anyway.
Well, I'll get a pull to that here.
Yeah,
we got ourselves some delicious co-beers in front of us, and I just got to get into these things. This is one that was donated by our good friend Robert. This is a Pretoria Fields Collective, which comes from, I think he said, his hometown in South Georgia.
South Georgia.
This is a Farmhouse Berry Goza-style wheat ale. Subtly sour German-style ale, fermented with our own farm-grown berries.
Awesome.
4.5. In our quest to create...
4.5. Okay.
quest to create the highest quality craft beer, we are proud to grow barley, wheat, hops, and various fruit organically on our farmlands. Wow, so they grow like everything in this beer.
That's really cool.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Experience a little bit of South Georgia. That's how it's pronounced, right?
South Georgia.
I was reading it expecting Southern Georgia, and I don't know why.
Right, yeah.
Southern Georgia.
Southern Georgia.
In every can. That's pretty cool. He described this to me as being a very tart strawberry
Awesome.
kind of scenario. I look forward to getting into this and seeing what it's about.
I just saw Robert a few days ago.
Yeah, he's a good
old
fella.
boy.
He's just a good old boy. Boy, I'll tell you what, one thing that we've been doing the past couple weeks that has been really fun and really working well for me, we've been doing ourselves a little friends game night, getting together with our friends Lindsay and Thomas, playing ourselves a game called Kingdom Death Monster.
Kingdom Death Monster.
Which is a tabletop RPG.
Okay.
That apparently is like kind of all the rage, I guess, in the gaming circles now. Thomas said he was like...
Gaming, like tabletop gaming is huge now.
Apparently.
I'm not up on it at all.
Well, this is the first time I've ever really played one.
Yeah.
Like I've played some like card-based RPG stuff before, but not like a full like tabletop where you're keeping track of your stats and shit like that. Dude, it's been fucking cool.
Awesome.
I mean, the learning curve for these games is steep, you know?
Of course, yeah. And they're usually like deep rule sets and stuff. And
yeah. But this has been pretty dope. Thomas said it's like really hard to get a hold of. They only like release them like 400 at a time, and they just get snatched up like instantly.
Yeah.
But he just happened to come across one that was available.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty cool. It's pretty metal. I'm definitely enjoying it. I've always wanted to like play an RPG like that, you know.
Yeah.
But like as a kid, I wasn't allowed to play D&D and shit like that.
I know a guy
that'd
let you play some D&D.
Who's gonna get my D&D game?
Grimes, my old opponent.
Yes.
From back in
your mortal foe.
Back in the first year of the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grimes, he runs a D&D game on Discord.
Oh, you don't say.
Mm-hmm.
You can play it like over the internet like?
Mm-hmm.
What about that?
Yeah.
Huh.
You can use programs that simulate the dice roll. Some people hate that. They like the actual tactile feel of the die in there.
But then you can cheat, you know?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
But then
It's hard with a 20-sided die to cheat, though. It's hard to, like, stack them or, you know. Because, like, with the 6-sided die, that's pretty simple to... Oh, I haven't tried this yet.
Oh, dude. You're going to like
really
that. It tastes even better. That is like a sip of sunshine. That tastes like a fresh picked strawberry. Yeah. I got a pocket full of sunshine.
Don't it feel good?
That's so delicious.
That is.
That's really great. It's not overly like sour.
It's real light in all aspects. Like the flavor is good, but it's light. It's not a heavy feeling.
Not
liquid.
too sweet.
Yeah. Not too sweet, not too sour. It's just...
You could enjoy one of those after mowing that yard for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a yard mower right there. Mm-hmm. That's nice because
it almost has like a sparkling wine quality.
Yeah,
to it.
I agree. Strawberry wine 17. It's like drinking that song.
Oh, yeah? Is it?
It's like drinking that song. If you could drink that song, it'd be about like this.
I'd drink that song if I could. I like that song.
Drink that song. This is delicious. Thanks a lot, Robert. That is a fantastic addition to our catalog of tasty beers that we have experienced here on Dead and Lovely. No, Steve, before we get into the Preview Palace, I'm going to tell our listeners what I want for Christmas. I want some reviews popping up on that iTunes and so forth.
Let's do it.
I want to get some reviews. If you guys want to get us what we really want for Christmas, go on iTunes and write a 5-star review. Just glow and glower and say, oh, these boys. Oh, these boys. I love these boys and hearing them talk. Thanks, boys.
Hell yeah. I like that.
That's
a good present.
Post it up. That would help us out a lot. I saw a couple that got posted. I think it was like last week. Some very nice things that people said.
They didn't call us liberal cucks.
These didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some of them do.
Some of them do.
Yeah.
But you know, Steve, that's not all that I want for Christmas this year.
No.
And I'll tell you what, man. The things that you ask for Christmas and the things that you get excited about and the things you want when you're an adult versus when you're a kinder kid, a child. Boy, they sure are different, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're ever changing. With every year that goes by, I'm like, well, that's just not something I ever would have thought I would have wanted as a kid. So
Right.
as we get on in here into the preview palace,
Welcome to the Preview Palace.
that was like a little Christmas elf or something.
It's me. Welcome to the Preview Palace.
Okay, all right. The cuteness is wearing off
Oh,
pretty fast.
bum.
You're good in small doses.
Damn.
Good in small doses.
I'll miss you.
Before we get on to the review, I just want to spend a little bit of time talking about the kind of bullshit that a bunch of mid-30s white dudes really want for Christmas this year.
I mean, they're the most basic things, I think. Like, when you think about it as a kid, you're like, I want these outlandish, crazy, awesome things.
Yeah, because you don't have money and you can't afford them.
As an adult, you're like, I want these things because I don't have money and I can't afford them.
Yeah. Or there's even some things that I think about where I'm like, I have money and can't afford this thing, but I would so much rather be buying like a new guitar or something
somebody
fun.
else please give me the other things.
Yeah, the utilitarian things that
Yeah.
I don't want to spend my money on because that's a boring purchase.
Yes.
Such as...
Number one for me, and this is, I have said as a kid I loved getting these, but I still love it. Socks and underwear.
All about some socks and drawers. I remember you talking about that.
I love brand new socks. Okay, not true. Sometimes people have bought me socks and I'm like, you don't know shit about socks.
Am I a joke to you?
I put those socks on and I'm like, oh, they're not supposed to hug my foot. Gotcha. They just loosely hang off.
Oh,
there.
very nice.
Yeah,
very
no
nice.
way this will end up in a blister.
I wouldn't even put my dick in this sock.
Or somebody gets you underwear. You know what? Socks and underwear, I only want my wife to buy for me.
Yeah.
Now that I think
somebody
about
else buying you some drawers can get pretty weird pretty fast.
because it's like, one, I'm not wearing tighty-whities, but I also don't like boxers.
You know what, though? You are starting to turn this around. I'm just trying to think, like, really, imagine if you have a big friends get-together and you have bought everybody socks and underwear. I mean, that would make some memories.
If they're quality. And if it's what they want, that would make some memory.
I think even if they were terrible, it's just funny.
Yeah, if it's just like Tweety Bird boxers.
Yeah, exactly. Like some that are like 5 to a pack. It's like you get Tweety and Taz, and there's a Yosemite pair in there too.
Yeah.
Came for free. You're welcome.
I guess I do have very specific, like I've worn the same socks. I've gotten multiple packs of them over the years. Wear the same socks all the time. They're Pumas, and they hug your foot like they're best friends.
Oh, wow.
And whenever you put the first pair on, like the first time you do it, it revolutionized my life. I immediately was like, this is what a sock is supposed to be.
Wow.
And I've been wearing them for years now. I actually have some from 2005.
Jesus, dude. That's an old sock.
Are still sticking around, yeah.
Wow. And you listeners can enter promo code Dead and Lovely to get 15% off your first pair of Puma socks.
All you need is a Costco membership.
Non-sponsor. Okay, non-spawn.
Yeah.
All right.
I would take some Costco money, though. Hey, Costco, if you're looking for a podcast to advertise on.
Yeah, maybe it's us.
Just give us a free membership for a year. That's a good deal.
Dude, I'm getting to where I need to put some new tires on my car.
Costco, they do that.
That's something I don't want to spend my money on.
Yeah.
If somebody got me just like 4 tires for Christmas, honestly, probably just 2.
Seriously? We just had to buy 4 tires. Yeah. And if somebody had bought them for us for Christmas, it would have been amazing.
Totally, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's the thing is like, really, you don't want to spend your money on that stuff.
No.
That's like the most boring thing you can buy.
Yeah. The stuff you use every day, you just don't want to spend money on.
No, huh? So to get that for Christmas,
you get so accustomed to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, thanks. You just freed up like $200 something dollars. Well, way more if you drive a big car.
Yeah. Ours were like $400.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, the thing is, if you have an all-wheel drive vehicle, you have to change all 4 tires at once. So we got a nail in our front driver's side tire. Luckily, they needed to be changed soonish anyway.
Yeah,
we had just gotten the car. The tires were fine, but they probably had about 2,000 miles left on them. But yeah, $400. I mean, fine. But if somebody else had paid for that,
oh my god,
for
dude.
Christmas, that would have been like the coolest gift.
Totally, because then you're just looking at like that's $400 of mine that just got freed up that I can use to do whatever.
Right?
Yeah.
Go out. $400. Like you can do a whole lot with that. But whatever.
So yeah, some new tires. That's on my list. What about you?
Okay, so this one, maybe not an old man, maybe very specific to this line of work. but I have a microphone I want really bad.
Yeah, old
I actually had
microphone,
like
huh?
2 of them for us.
Oh, it's good for us.
Are these Shure mics?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's actually just a step up from these.
Okay, yeah.
They're $359.99 brand new.
You remember what model it is?
It's like
That's probably
these
something
are
that I
like
can
the
find a connection
5
for.
somethings, right?
SM57.
Yeah. Okay. So it's
Industry standard.
Yeah, these are. Hold on, it's the SM7B.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
the beta. Yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. They just have amazing reviews and like they're really good for voice, like for just capturing voice.
Right.
So-
Yeah, you can use those things to mic up a fucking guitar amp or anything,
Yeah.
dude. The SMs and stuff.
Yeah.
They're just kind of jack of all trades.
Right.
Yeah, but those guys are just kind of made for capturing our beautiful, luxurious
Yeah.
tones.
So like when I think, because like our show sounds fine. There's no reason to buy $400 mic.
Right. For this thing that nobody
Yeah.
pays for that's free.
Yeah. So I'd love it as a gift.
There you
Because
go.
I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the show could eventually buy it. We've made our money back on our shirts, and we keep
totally.
getting paid back.
Patreon's going
through
great.
Patreon,
You guys are
through
great.
advertising and stuff. We could afford it, but there's other stuff we could also do that's more fun with it.
Totally,
Yeah.
man. Totally. Yeah.
So if somebody bought those mics for us, hell yeah.
Dude, one of the things that I want the most, that I absolutely desperately need, that I do not want to spend money on, and nobody wants to buy it for me because it's horribly expensive. I got to get these fucking wisdom teeth out.
Oh shit!
I got to get these fucking things out, man. I'm running out of good places to chew. Real
you have
fast.
insurance. You don't have dental?
We do now. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. So basically, like, we just kind of found out, like, our insurance is actually, like, fucking sick.
Yeah.
So probably, like, after the first of the year, like, around February or March.
Dental work's still expensive.
Oh
even
my
with
god!
insurance,
Oh yeah.
but
But I'm gonna have to go under that knife and get these things cut out of my face. It's,
It's really
driving
not
me
bad.
crazy.
I mean, honestly,
Mine are fucked off, dude.
Yeah, mine too. They were all grown.
Oh, so that's like mine. Yeah.
they were all impacted. The healing takes a little bit because they really have to cut into your
Oh,
gums
God, yeah.
and shit. But you're out almost immediately.
Yeah, yeah.
I told them I was afraid of needles, so they gave me gas to give me the IV.
Wow, dude.
I didn't even like after the gas. I don't remember anything. So
Damn, dude.
and then just woke up and it was painful, but it goes away after a little bit.
You live with
too
it.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something that I definitely want. What a lame Christmas, but it'd be great.
That is like that's old man shit. Like
Yeah.
purely, it's just like
Would you pay for my medical procedures,
Yeah.
please?
but that's the real spirit of giving, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Taking care of somebody.
Taking care of somebody, not giving them something entirely superfluous.
Thanks for the Tamagotchi, but I need surgery.
Yeah, exactly.
You got anything else on your list that pops up of old man shit?
I mean, well, I also need neck surgery, so that would be
Woo!
great. But yeah, that's some old man shit for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I need new clothes, but I can't buy them yet.
Yeah,
I've lost
'cause
65 pounds.
that's the
I actually
problem,
lost more
right?
than that.
Yeah, because I mean, soon you buy clothes that fit you now, they ain't gonna fit you in a
Exactly.
month or two, right?
Yeah, I'm wearing double XLs. I probably would be XL. I'll be L by the time I'm done.
Oh, look at you!
I like these pants.
They
You
falling
could fit
off
a
ya?
second person in them right now.
Challenge accepted.
Like yes,
Get in me.
You actually could probably fit in the front of my pants. yeah, close. But again, like
It'd be a waste.
it would be. It
Yeah.
would be a waste. So I don't know. What's a good? I want another dog.
Oh yeah, get your
Yeah.
pupper on.
Yeah, yeah. You know, an older one.
But
What-
you want to pick out your dog.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Somebody
I
getting
don't
you a
want it
pet's
as a
no-go.
gift. Yeah, I can't think of another because like I'm simple to shop for. Mostly, just give me money.
Yeah, right.
I'll figure it out.
Universal gift certificate.
Yeah, which usually just goes to bills. Yeah, but still, pay my bills. There we go.
Yeah,
that's
pay
an
my
old
bills.
man.
It's a great
pay
one.
my bills for a month.
That'd be dope.
That would be so great.
I would just love to have myself a new fucking office chair. That one that
Oh,
you're sitting
yeah.
in right now is the one
Yeah.
that I like sit for hours teaching
Yeah,
and playing
I
video
used to
games.
have this
and-
same chair, and it killed me.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not great. Like
Yeah.
whenever I got it, it came out of Kate's old office that she used to work at,
Uh-huh.
so it had been already used for who knows how long. And then I got it because I was like, yeah, it's fine.
It's got very little padding.
Very,
Even
very
when you
little.
get it brand new,
Yeah.
they don't really have much.
That's one of those things I meant to put on like my Amazon wish list that like my mother-in-law uses and stuff to shop, and I totally fucking forgot.
You can always buy one of those like seat cushions that are like super thick.
Yeah.
I have a good
It's
chair.
It's a Band-Aid.
It is. I actually have a good chair and one of those. I use the seat cushion so that the chair won't, because, you know, it's actually sitting down on the chair that's causing the chair to lose its fluffiness and stuff. So I just use the seat cushion to keep the chair in good shape.
There you go, man. There you go. Yeah, that's something I know that I could definitely use. My tailbone would certainly appreciate
These
it.
are boring old man things.
I know, dude.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But you know what? At the end of the day, if you're shopping for a boring old man like us, and you don't know what to get him, and you look at all this stuff and you go,
Cash.
all that shit's fucking boring. Or maybe you look at cash and you're like, too impersonal. I want to make a purchase. What is the stigma against buying somebody a fucking great bottle of booze for Christmas?
Yeah, there shouldn't be a stigma against that.
Dude.
That I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously. Because that's
If
the
somebody
thing that,
gave me that what is it, the George Dickel that was super popular this
Oh
year,
my
but
God,
the one
yeah.
whiskey of the year, what was it?
yeah. That'd be
Bottled
amazing.
and Bond, the George Dickel Bottle and Bond. I would love that.
Yeah, and that's not even that expensive.
It's
is
like
the thing.
$35.
But isn't it fucked up? Like, okay, your birthday, people give you bottles of booze all the time. For some reason, Christmas, unwrapping a bottle of booze is like unacceptable. I don't know why.
I think we should. Here's what we should
With
do.
friends, it's okay, but like family Christmas, apparently
Yeah.
that's weird for some people.
My family doesn't drink at all.
Right.
It's the worst.
Ugh.
I didn't realize growing up.
How do people do it?
I never realized like this is not normal. They're a weird family. Now, I think they were like afraid of alcoholism or something, like
Yeah.
just this intense fear of it to the point that they didn't drink at all. But it's so much more fun to be at a family gathering
Fuck
where everybody's
yeah.
drinking.
I don't know how people do it.
I
do
truly
not
don't know.
man.
You know what we should do every Christmas is have a white elephant friends get together where everybody brings a bottle of booze and then
Yep.
trade them around.
I'm telling you, man, that thing that me and Mitch and Josh and them started doing a couple of years ago where we just do a pick a six beer exchange.
Yeah, it's
That's
great.
the fucking best, man.
Yeah.
Everybody just brings a six of something cool.
Everybody
builds
gets trying
one.
crazy beers.
Yeah, and then
It's
we
all
just
fun.
hang out and drink them. Like, that's a winner to me. So I look forward to hearing from our fans and stuff and hearing what their old man Christmas wishes or old lady Christmas wishes or old robot Christmas wishes
Yeah,
are.
we do have a lot of robot
I
listeners.
need some oil. I've needed it for a long time, but you know me.
I'm always spending my money on others instead of getting my solder joints reheated. Scantron.
Scantron.
But you guys post those up over on the Facebook group. I'd love to check them out and see if it is us that are just the boring old fucks or if there's other people that are also boring old fucks.
I think so. I think there are a
Yeah.
lot of boring old fucks out there. Probably people who are like, I really need a new blah, blah, blah on my car.
Yeah. One of those things. Well, Steve, now let's get on to the meat of this podcast. Let's get up into that meat. Some of that
Let's get some
succulent,
of that Krampus
juicy meat. Let's get some of that Krampus evil elf meat.
Yum, yum.
And let's start talking about this thing. I'm going to knock out the rest of this beer, and then we're going to crack open another one. Why don't you tell them about what this thing is, Steve?
This beer right here.
This
Ooh, howdy.
beer right here.
Says here, it's called Foreign Objects. Water waging war.
Oh, my God.
These shadow aspects of specific nature seek to displace and destroy inspiration. What the fuck is happening?
I think this is from that RPG that we're playing.
Yeah.
It sounds like D&D shit.
This is an ill-dignified portent, but nonetheless serves a powerful function in the diverse pantheon of psychic existence.
Huh.
In this beer, Citra and Pacifica hops blend intensely and create aggressive sensory expressions of earthy citrus,
Oh, my God.
sticky orange marmalade. I said marmalade. Deep resinous pith and a magnetic attraction that can't be explained.
Does it
Go
give you-
deeper and always be more complex.
Is there anything about it giving like plus 15 mana?
Looks like down here it adds plus 7.5% alcohol to you.
Oh, okay. That's a very important effect. That's one I can use right there. The mana, I'm not doing anything with that. But this 7.5 ABV, that's going to go to good use right there.
I think that'll probably boost your constitution?
Confidence.
There you go.
Dance powers.
Dance powers. There
Increases dance ability by 5%. Now, this is the last of a 4-pack. I got these over at Old Merchants of Beer here in Knoxville. And I like it pretty good. This is one of those ones that whenever I had the first one, I had the first sip and I was like, oh my God, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
I do really like it. But it's one of those that for some reason, by the time I'm at the end of a pint,
Yeah.
I grow tired of it.
Okay.
That being said, I think us splitting this into 2 half
will
pints
make it more enjoyable.
Yeah, it'll probably be just right. That looks like a dang old cup of pineapple juice right there. It's just that nice, cloudy golden color.
Smells pineapple-y too.
Very much.
Oh, and citrusy.
Resinous pith. Are you
It's
smelling
got
the
a
plus
good,
5
like,
mana?
sweet orange smell to it as well, yeah.
I think that you'll enjoy it, but I think you'll also get what I mean. It is a little on the sweet side,
Yeah, it is sweet.
right? So it's like, what we're drinking right now will be good, but imagine drinking twice as much as that. It'd get old, right?
Yeah, I can see this. I could see this getting old. It's a little too sweet for my palate.
Yeah.
Not enough of the citrus, but it is very smooth and drinkable.
Oh, very much so. Yeah. I just think I would like it more if it was like a little bit more funky, a little bit more hoppy and stuff.
Yeah.
It's almost like that Bearded Irish home style if it wasn't funky.
Yeah, it's like a watered down home style.
Yeah. With like some Splenda added or something.
Add a packet of Splenda
Add
to
a
your
packet
beer.
of Splenda to every beer. That's my secret ingredient.
That's how you live so long. You're actually 200 years old. You discovered Splenda.
Yeah, I made it up. All right, Steve, was this the first time you watched Krampus?
No, I watched it back in 2015. Whenever it
You're one of
came
them
out.
old school players.
I'm an old school player. That's what they call me.
Oh.
Yeah. It's this movie immediately stood out to me because it had Adam Scott in it, and he's on a lot of podcasts I listen to. So he came on saying he was going to be on it. Love Adam Scott. Wanted to see it.
Why don't you marry him?
I think I might.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I might marry Adam Scott. He seems like he'd be fun.
Are you going to tell your wife, like, on the podcast?
I think she'd be cool with it.
she'd be okay.
Yeah, we'll have a 3-way marriage. Well, he's married and has children too, so it's a 4-way marriage. I guess his wife has to get involved.
All right, yeah.
I will make his children call me dad,
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be weird not to.
but they cannot call my wife mom.
No, that'd be very strange.
No, that's weird.
So you like this guy pretty well.
Yeah, so I'm a fan of Adam Scott and fan of horror movies and fan of Christmas horror movies in particular. I really like holiday horror movies. So I jumped on it as soon as I could. Oh, also Alison Tolman. I think the first season of Fargo had just happened, and she's so fucking good in it.
Who's she in this? I'm bad with names.
Alison Tolman is the sister.
Oh, okay.
The
right on.
sister, the older sister, not the young girl.
Okay, right.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing about Christmas horror movies, and this isn't the first one that we've done. We've covered Gremlins.
Black Christmas.
Yeah, we've done several here on the show.
Rare Exports, that's a good one.
That's a fucking awesome one. I really did enjoy that. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, damn, I want to watch that again.
Yeah.
It's a really cool
a fun
movie.
one.
But Kate and I were talking before we started the show about, just kind of the unique spot that Christmas horror movies are in.
Yeah.
In that, okay, it's kind of like like we talked about before, like being a Christian band where it's just like automatic fan base.
Yeah.
It's
people
Christmas,
are going to watch
so
it.
people
People
will
are going
watch
to
it.
listen, yeah.
But the problem is that those people are going to watch it one time a year max. You're not watching this movie in July.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those other flicks you can watch any old time. But a Christmas horror movie, you're really only watching this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
That also means it can only be in theaters maybe a max of 8 weeks?
That's true. Yeah.
Start of
you
November.
want it to come out probably November, yeah, and then
But even at that, most of your sales are going to come in the
yeah.
last 4 weeks of the year, in December. And then after that, even after the movie, does well or doesn't do well in that short theater run,
and this one did not do
it did
entirely bad.
Yeah.
It made 61 on a 15 million budget. But they definitely did. I remember advertising of this was pretty big.
Yeah, me too.
So they spent a lot on advertising. So they made money back for sure.
But then the thing is like even after you have your theatrical run and it comes out on DVD, well, nobody's like buying this on DVD or paying to rent it until next year.
Right, because people don't tend to watch holiday horror movies after that holiday
movies,
Yeah.
period, you know?
Yeah.
So there's kind of this weird area where it's like, how do you figure out how much effort to put into something that is only going to be enjoyed once every year at maximum? You know, it's like, do you just take it easy and phone it in for that easy holiday money? People see it because of Christmas thing?
Yeah.
Or do you really go all out knowing that, well, people will watch it every fucking year?
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
yeah, I think there's a lot of different type of planning with the executives that are more understanding of what streaming is and how it works. A lot of things that they're greenlighting now, they realize like, oh, this will definitely develop an audience, and we're going to be making money off of it past the theater.
Right.
I think this is one where you could look at the cast they had assembled, look at the effects that they were working on and stuff, and go like, oh yeah, this will make us our money back for sure.
Yeah, they definitely gave a shit when they made this movie, you know?
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, walking into like a low budget holiday horror movie, it's like, if you want to get attention, you probably want to do something more broad, more general, because it's only going to get the attention really around that season. So yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a real, it's a mixed bag. It can totally succeed and be huge, because Christmas is a time that if a movie is getting good word of mouth, families are going to go see it, or if it's an R-rated like this, people who are into that genre are definitely going to go see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting to see, and I'm trying to remember if this movie either kind of kickstarted the whole Krampus in America thing and its popularity, or did it just come out just right at the fever pitch of all that stuff?
It came out at a good time.
Yeah.
Because around this time, though I imagine it had to do with the announcement of this movie somewhat, there were a few other low-budget horror movies that came out around the time using Krampus. And then following this, Krampus has had more of a presence in America.
There's a ton, yeah. I mean, even if you just search on Amazon for Krampus, it's like it'll bring up all kinds that are not related to this movie.
I think those kind of it's kind of coincidental somewhat, but also that you hear a big studio is making a movie called Krampus, and you're a small studio, you can jump in on that game. Krampus is it's
not a licensed title.
It's not a licensed title, yeah. So you're going to get a lot of smaller budget stuff that are trying to cash in on that. And then the thing is that the popularity must have been growing before that. There's no way. I don't know. It seems to me this movie doesn't have the following to have created the sort of surge in Krampus. Yeah. So it must have just been coincidental. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not. Yeah.
Or whatever started all the swing dance craze. I guess it was The Mask.
Oh, yeah.
I think The Mask, again, did it start it or did it jump in on it?
Did that Brian Setzer song come out before? Because Brian Setzer Orchestra was really kind of what brought swing back into the mainstream.
But then the Stray Cats have been around since the fucking 80s,
That's
dude.
true.
Like, Stray Cat Strut was like 80s.
That's true.
It's old.
But Brian Setzer was around then, too. It wasn't until that one song.
He was in the Stray Cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until that one song, I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah, like a Jump Jivin' Whale.
Jump Jivin' Whale, yeah. It wasn't until that hit the radio that other... Because like all these other bands that were doing swing around that time already existed. Like nobody was listening to the Cherry Poppin' Daddies, but they existed before the swing revival.
Right, yeah. I just want to know who fucking started all this damn fucking Celtic punk thing and why it won't go away. Dropkick Murphys, go away. I'm tired of all these songs sound the same. I'm sorry. I know a lot of our listeners probably really like that stuff, but that whole Irish punk, whatever, it's just not for me, Steve. I want to know who's responsible. I want answers.
I do always assume that Irish punk is like, oh, they're skinheads probably, right?
Like maybe in the background. I don't know.
They're probably skinheads. Yeah.
But yeah, this movie, like I said, I don't know if it capitalized or jump-started or whatever, but it's kind of interesting that this movie brought the idea of Krampus into the Western world, because this has existed across Europe for fucking thousands of years.
It has. And this movie contains so much mythology that is outside of Krampus.
Really?
Krampus isn't even like... the deepest mythological character that we see in this. It's just that the others, we don't know their names unless you watch the credits.
Now, this I didn't know. You were telling me that, like, every one of these little minions and even, like, the elves and stuff, those are all individual characters
and
with
they have names. Uh-huh.
I had no idea. Because when they
crazy.
bust in, it's just like elves, and they have no speaking lines. It's not like any of them are like, hi, I'm Winkus, and I'm Dinkus. Like, they don't talk. They don't
Which
have
is great.
names.
If they did that, it would be like, oh, you're less scary now.
Yeah. Winkus? Dinkus?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
So let's talk Krampus first, and then we'll get into each of those. But
Okay.
Krampus is a Central European figure. Mostly comes from pre-Christian Alpine religion. So the communities that lived up in the Alps and were separated from the sort of outside world because people couldn't get to them easily.
Yeah, totally. How
So-
did they get there? Who put them
Good
there?
question.
Frost
I
giants.
think once you get to a place where you're like, man, it was hard to get here, I should build a city.
It sucked getting out of here.
Yeah.
Guess I'll stay put.
I'll just live here and make people come to me.
I'm going to go with the obvious answer, frost giants.
Oh,
That's where they came from.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
that
they
all
got it
makes
right.
sense. Frost giants. Yeah.
Where
Okay.
else would they have come from?
No
Who
idea.
made the mountains?
The
Frost giants.
Of course they did.
Occam's razor, Steve. Occam's razor.
So actually, because that they were so separated, the Christianization effort took a long time with them and took some concessions on the Christian side. It
Wow,
took a lot
yeah.
of like they had to do the same thing with Russia. That's why Russia has the Russian Orthodox Church, where they wouldn't turn Christian if they had to give up all of their
Vodka.
nature gods and stuff. So they assimilated the nature gods and made them saints.
Really?
Yeah. So like,
Word.
if you go into a Russian Orthodox church, there are icons everywhere.
Is it
They
like
have-
bears and stags and stuff?
No, they made them human. They had to be human to be saints. So they made them human, but they still have all the aspects of these gods and goddesses.
So
that they
wait,
had.
hang on. They're originally animals, but they disguised them as people. Are they reverse furries? Are they skinnies? Is that what you call a reverse
I
furry?
want to see a bear dressed in a human suit fucking another bear in a
Yeah.
human suit.
It's like, maybe that's what I'm really into. We're really into skinnies.
Baldies.
No, that's something else.
okay,
no,
then
no.
it's- yeah.
Back where I'm from, we call them baldies.
Oh.
Sleepaway camp. I think skinnies is where it's at.
Yeah. Okay, skinnies. So
That's crazy.
So he started as this like horned anthropomorphic figure that's like half goat, half demon, which
Yeah, Baphomet is all of them, yeah.
but the half goat, half demon part, the demon bit is from the Christianization. Before the Christianization, he was not demonic. He was mischievous, for sure. He wasn't
But not inherently evil.
not inherently evil. He
Okay.
was meant to keep children in line.
All right.
So he's part of the entourage. No, I mean this is pre Saint Nicholas as well, but he's part of this entourage of these Alpine people,
just like
where-
Fat Joe and Big Pun.
Exactly.
Santa's Big Pun.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, you look at Fat Joe, you don't want to be as fat as him, right? Right?
Yeah,
Big Pun's like,
he's pretty fat. He's pretty fat. Yeah. He's got a weight problem.
it took a lot of me to say that.
R.I.P.
As someone who's
R.I.P.
been out of shape and fat, I can tell you.
You can make that joke.
I can
You can
feel
make
it.
that
I
joke.
can feel that
Yeah.
joke, actually. I've been there. It's just like, I'm out of breath.
Because I just had a really long sentence. Okay, so he started off as just a mischievous
Yeah.
character that would keep the kids in line.
Yeah, and that's a thing that you see throughout like
Every
Scandinavian
religion.
folklore and stuff. Yeah, is all of these creatures that weren't considered negative or positive.
yeah.
They just had roles.
They had a purpose.
They had a purpose.
Right.
Yeah, and the purpose was generally to keep people in line or to make people feel better.
That's interesting because ultimately, yeah, you're right. Due to the Christianization of these religions and stuff and these traditions, whenever we see a character like Krampus or the Germans have Schwarzpeter, Black Peter, it's like
who's very racist.
very extremely racist.
Yeah.
Holy moly!
Actually, on The Office, they have an episode. I just watched it.
Yeah?
Just like, okay, so it snowed yesterday. So we had this great snowy environment.
It was
I saw the
freezing
episode
as
of The
fuck.
Office with Krampus and Black Peter.
Nice.
And then I watched Krampus. I had a pretty good.
That's pretty Christmassy.
Christmas
pretty
night.
fucking Christmassy.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go home and get Christmas as fuck.
Yeah,
Hell
dude.
yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like those characters, we look at them now and we're like, oh, they're evil. They have horns
Right.
and long tongues and so on.
Evil is an invention, basically.
Well, there's
Abrahamic religions and Christianity.
Yeah, there's a morality attached to
Yeah.
it. Whereas before, it's like you said, they served a purpose. It was their job to punish the children.
And
that didn't make them evil per se.
we can't
Maybe the kids shouldn't have been such fucking assholes.
exactly. We can't fully understand exactly how it felt to be a part of those religions back in that time.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, like the most interesting thing I find every time I research something in history is how much humans have not changed. And
Right, totally.
Just never do. We
Nope.
don't change. We're the same all the time. Just because we think now like, well, this situation is very specific to our time. Yeah, it is specific to our time. It's also happened before.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
yeah.
learn from the past, but learn that humanity isn't going to learn from the past, and we're
Right.
always going to kind of be the same.
Well, the idea that you do good and you get presents, you do bad, you get punished.
Yeah.
Like that's Santa Claus and Krampus. That is
Exactly.
fucking God and the devil.
Which is why Krampus has chains now. The addition of chains was part of the Christianization.
Oh.
So they're chains that bind him. So he is controlled still. He is in some sort of punishment because of these chains.
Much like how the devil is in hell and not running around on the
Exactly.
earth.
Exactly.
Contained like by the good force.
Yeah, and so the implication is that Saint Nicholas is in charge of him.
Okay.
But Saint Nicholas also doesn't get the blame for what he does.
That makes no sense to me.
It's called a scapegoat, Ben.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
scapegoat. Yes, that's the Christians
How convenient.
are real good at finding those and picking them.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
this Krampus becomes a scapegoat, which allows for really what happens in a lot of these festivals is older teenage boys dress up as Krampus and run through the streets hitting bad kids with birch sticks.
Yeah, smack him with a twig.
This is both an opportunity to set up the idea of consequences for actions and punishment. But what it's really doing is allowing people to get the cathartic feeling of beating these bad kids.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's like there's a bit of that, and there's also... Okay, so there's the benefit of, like you said, to the older kids getting to fucking whip younger kids that
Yeah.
are beneath them. But then also, too, for younger kids being taught that I must behave and I must be a good boy or else bad
Yeah.
things happen to me
Yeah.
and I get beaten by switches and stuff.
Right.
It sets up that control dynamic
Uh-huh.
for both parties involved.
And there's also the transition into learning the truth, where as you get older, you realize like, oh, I get to be one of the Krampuses, and then you realize like, oh, I've been taught how to teach my kids
Right.
through this mythology. Now, this is not a positive. You should not run around beating your children
No.
wearing
No.
Krampus.
We can
outfit,
we can get
but-
beyond that, I
we
think.
can get beyond that,
Yeah.
but it's a good step toward actual child rearing, where it's about teaching kids not just that they should stay in line, but that when they get older, they're the ones that have to keep everything in line.
Yeah. Mhm.
So that's why you have to learn to stay in line, because when you get older, you're in charge.
Yeah, keeping it in line.
You have to keep it in line.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting power and control dynamic.
Yeah,
afoot.
so then Krampus is a positive figure in that.
Sure.
Once you add the Christianization, he's no longer a positive figure. You add an actual physical reward to being good, and you have just sort of a show. Like, basically by the 19th century, the Krampus would just come, put the kid in like a sack, walk
yeah.
down the street a little bit, let him out, and tell him like, you be good next year.
Uh-huh.
And, again, shouldn't be beating kids, but it does sort of undercut the message that it's just like, yeah, Krampus will be a little bit scary, but then he'll just tell you be good and you go home.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We'll put you in the electric chair. We're not going to throw the switch.
Exactly. Yeah, it undercuts Krampus in the end, where he just has no real power. So this is really centered in like Austria, Bavaria, Croatia, Czech Republic, that area, the Alps. But it also goes all the way down into Italy, like northern Italy.
Oh.
Still, there are parts of northern Italy that have Krampus festivals and stuff. Krampusnacht, though I don't know what they call it in Italian.
Yeah.
It's a Krampus night.
Boopy.
Boopy.
Krampus, you be a bad boy. Krampus, he come, he take your spaghetti.
Oh no!
No, I want
He
to
whip
mangia.
you with the spaghetti.
It is even less than al dente. It hurts.
Oh,
no. Italian Krampus.
Italian
whipping the
Krampus.
kids with raw spaghetti.
I really like this though. The word Krampus originates from Old High German, which means claw.
Okay.
So, from Krampen. So Krampus would be the one with claws.
Okay, yeah.
And he hangs out with Santa Claus.
Ooh.
I thought that was fun.
Snickety snicked.
Mm-hmm. What if Santa Claus was Wolverine? Santa Claus.
I'd be all right
bub.
with that. Yeah. Comes down the chimney smoking a big fat stogie. I think he gets up to the chimney because Colossus throws him. Fastball special.
Yeah.
Yeah, alley-oop.
Colossus leads his sleigh, of course.
Yeah, it would make sense. Yeah, exactly.
So, like, really, in the end, like, there's a lot of stuff that I could say about it, but really, in the end, the important thing about Krampus now is that he's become the anti-Santa Claus.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
He is the...
Santa is good. He is evil.
Yeah, he's the antagonist to Santa Claus.
In this movie, they describe him as the shadow of Saint Nicholas or something
Exactly. Yeah, that's what Omi says. Now, this movie actually goes so far as to give him what I would say looks like a either deformed, demented Santa face or a cut off Santa face. It looks almost like he's wearing a false
like that. Okay,
face.
that's something I was wanting to talk about,
Yeah.
is Krampus's face, because I remember the very first time that I watched this movie, I don't know if it was one of those things where, maybe I was tired, not paying attention, maybe I was watching on a small TV so I couldn't see the details. I don't really remember, honestly. But I remember thinking, wow, that's kind of weird. They just gave him like a rubber inarticulated face.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was a mask.
It looks, because if you look at the other depictions of Krampus,
Well,
he's
the elves,
half goat.
and
but-
the elves are wearing masks too.
That's true.
Yeah.
He is half goat, but he's always like covered in black, whatever, hair.
Yeah.
And he has a more goatish face. And in this case, he does have those goat eyes.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I noticed that this time. He's
Yeah.
got those like weird pupils that a
But
goat
the
has.
exterior looks like a mask.
It's
And
like a wooden mask or
I
something.
feel like that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
Is that he is wearing a mask. That like we've gotten so far with Krampus now that he's basically Santa in disguise.
Yeah, he's disguising himself as the good guy, as Santa. Yeah, that's one of those things that I remember the first time that I saw this movie, and I was so impressed by how much of the movie had these great practical effects, and they were using actual, little puppets and things, which we'll
So
talk about
great.
those too.
Yeah.
And then I remember getting to where they actually show his face and being disappointed, because I was like, oh, it's like they're not even giving him an opposable
But
face, but it's a mask.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think there is a face under there.
I think so too,
Yeah.
which makes me go like, God damn, like,
That's creepy.
what is the face of Krampus then?
Exactly, yeah.
Like, that's one of those things where that's actually scarier than anything they could have showed you. Like, if they decided to give him a full CGI Goatman face, that wouldn't have been as creepy
No, it wouldn't.
as him just seeing, you see the eyes moving behind the mask, and you see his tongue roll out and stuff. And it lets you know, like, what the fuck is up with whatever's going on in his face.
I want to talk about his appearance and specifically that tongue.
Yeah.
I have a theory about Krampus. This is my fan fiction of Krampus.
Okay, I like this already. Is it sexy? Is it hot?
It's sexy as fuck.
Ooh, what'd you do with
wait.
that- what'd you do
Oh
with
my
that
God.
long
We'll probably have to
tongue?
both stop to masturbate.
He punishes the bad boys, rewards the good girls.
Yeah.
No, that could get weird really
That
fast.
could get real
Scratch
weird.
that, scratch
Yep.
that, scratch that.
So
I meant to say good ladies.
there we go. So my theory here is that the Venom symbiote came down in the 11th century and tried to take over Santa Claus, but he
Excuse me.
rejected it.
I'm on board.
He rejected it, and then it went and got Krampus. And that's why his tongue looks the way it is, and that's why he's like way
Dude.
bigger and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I back that 1,000,000%.
So I'm saying Venom versus Krampus.
Santa Claus versus Venom Krampus.
Venom Krampus.
Dude, yes, please. give me that in a graphic novel or something.
All right, let me talk just a little bit about some of the other. I don't want to go full in depth about all of the different mythologies that are being referenced in this.
Okay.
But there's some mythology that goes from, Iceland, Scandinavia,
Wow.
and even modern.
I'm interested to know about this because it's kind of funny too that you're mentioning this. That there is all this unspoken mythology in these completely minor characters and stuff. Because that's so much like what we were talking about on last week's Ravenous episode, where it's like all this Wendigo stuff
without ever drawing attention to it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's there.
Yeah.
And even if you don't know that it's there, it's still enjoyable and you'll still follow it. But if you do the research, it's even more there.
Seriously.
Very cool. Okay, I want to know about this stuff.
Right.
I love Scandinavian mythology.
Me too.
I swear to God.
It's so interesting.
Man, all of that stuff, Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology, it's the original comic books, man. It's the original fucking comic books.
It really is. So, Perkta is the name of the angel.
Okay, the little angel creature in here, which looks so awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
I love that thing. So Perkta was a goddess in Alpine pre-Christian mythology.
Okay.
And basically the name means either the bright one or the hidden one. And they went for both in this. She stays in the dark and then comes out and is completely white
Luminous,
and bright.
Like, yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's also the guardian of the beasts, which is what she tends to be doing in this movie, is protecting the Jack-in-the-Box and the teddy bear and the robot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she seems to be
actually
protecting them,
playing her role from mythology. That's really rad. What crazy detail to put into that.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
These are real interesting because they don't have any role, like speaking lines or anything, and I couldn't really tell them apart, though they do each have different designs. The dark elves that show up, 4 of them have names.
It's very bizarre.
It's very bizarre because they don't say the names, and you don't see them unless you look through the,
Is it just in the credits?
It's just in the credits, yeah, or the IMDb as well.
Huh.
Yeah. So one of them is Stekjarstar.
Oh, okay.
Which is sheep harasser, is what that means.
I think that goes really, really R-rated extremely fast.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Each of these 4 are part of 12 Yule lads that come from Icelandic
I've heard
tradition.
of these Yule lads. Okay.
And they come on each night of Christmas.
Oh. So like 12 days of Christmas, like.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
So then these show up. Stekjarstar is the first to show up.
He harasses your sheep.
He harasses your sheep.
Bothers your livestock.
The thing was that in Iceland during the winter they would keep their sheep underground.
Say what?
Yeah, they keep their sheep underground to keep them warm and to keep them from, the snow. So what would happen is the sheep would be making lots and lots of noises which would frighten the children. So most likely this comes from people, parents trying to explain to their kids what is happening with the sheep. And
they're down there being bothered.
They're being bothered by Stekjarstar.
And that's going to make it better?
Somehow.
That's worse.
Somehow.
The kids are just like, oh, yeah.
I must sleep soundly now. That is not an Icelandic accent.
Yeah, sure it is. It sounded just like Bjork.
So, okay. Forest
Hit me again.
Forest Liker.
Forest Liker.
Forest Liker.
Forrest Whitaker.
Yep, Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker, he's called.
Spoon Licker.
He's going to lick on that spoon, huh?
Yep.
Why? Because that's gross?
Yep.
Huh. Dude, just want to lick my spoon.
Basically, in the time, everybody would have their spoon and their dish, their cup.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have like just a whole bunch of stuff. Everybody has their own.
Okay.
So if somebody licked your spoon, it's gross.
Yeah, that is gross. Yeah. What a naughty boy.
Uh-huh.
He's a rude boy.
Rude boy.
Rude boy.
Forest Liker. This one, I love this name. Gluga a Geiger. It's got 5 G's in it. And it means window peeper.
Window peeper, he's called. What's that name again?
Gluga Geiger.
Gluga Geiger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he peeps in windows in order to locate food he could possibly steal.
Okay, yeah.
Now, I'm reading these and I'm saying, I don't think that these really come out in the movie. Like, I don't think that there's seems to be much of a reason to name them these things, but
other than just tying them into old myth.
And then the other one is Ket Kroker, which means meat hook. Now that's actually scary.
That sounds kind of brutal right there.
He travels with a long stick with a hook at the end, and it's perfect for sticking it down chimneys in order to steal meat.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're mischievous. They're not doing anything to harm.
Mm-hmm.
They're just fucking with the sheep to scare the little kids. They're licking their spoons. They're
stealing the meat.
Looking in their windows to see if they can steal their food.
Peeping.
Yeah.
They sound like a bunch of perverts and miscreants.
Yeah. And then there's Ruprecht the elf.
Oh.
Who is based off of Knecht Ruprecht.
Knecht Ruprecht.
And reading about him, there's no reason for me to go into it, but read about him. His story is weird. They're real weird, and not like, I didn't think it was interesting enough to talk about because it's just all over the place.
Okay.
But it's just the types of things attributed to him are just strange. Then we have the Nutcracker, which is obviously a more modern reference.
The Nutcracker,
to the Nutcracker.
Yeah, the Nutcracker in this doesn't really do too terribly much. He's in there a little bit. I kind of think, too, I mean, considering that all of these other creatures have these, like, crazy fucking names,
his
right?
name's just Nutcracker.
Nutcracker.
Yeah.
I like to think that, like, maybe, you know, Krampus, he gathered all these minions together, or maybe he, like, made them, like made the Nutcracker and stuff. And he's like, now you all get to choose your own names. And, like, the Nutcracker was, like, first in line. He's like, what will be your name? And he's like, well, I crack nuts.
So.
Nutcracker. Wish granted.
There you go.
Next, what will you have? And this guy's like,
Nutcracker's like, can I change? No.
It's too late.
No, I already wrote it down. This is a pin, so.
Yeah, it's permanent. I didn't know I had options. I just thought we said what we did.
The Jack in the Box doesn't have a name. It's just Jack in the Box.
That thing is crazy.
It looks great.
It reminds me of like the big Freddy worm from
that's exactly what it reminded
Dream
me of.
Warriors,
yeah,
right?
From Dream Warriors.
But the way it has that like crazy hinged jaw.
That opens outward.
Yeah, and it's got tons of teeth and stuff in there.
Yeah.
And it's a
like
practical...
Predator-like.
Very Predator-like, yeah. And it's very... I mean, it's a fucking practical effect. It looks awesome because it's
great.
real. And they know how to shoot that shit, too.
Yeah, it's all in the dark and like, yeah. I mean, they did really smart to take out the electricity early.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
Yeah. The others that actually have names are Teddy Claw.
Oh, okay, the little teddy bear guy.
Teddy bear, his name's Teddy
Dude,
Claw.
that guy looks awesome.
Yeah, he's
I
great.
love that guy.
And then TikTok, the robot.
Oh, so he has a name too. I didn't know that.
Then there's the Snow Beast, which is that whatever is under the snow that keeps attacking them.
Oh, so that's a separate creature.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was like
these are
Krampus
separate. Yeah.
under the snow grabbing people. That's like fucking snow trimmers or something.
Yeah, like in a lot of, Central European and Western European and even Scandinavian cultures, there's just this gang of antagonists to Saint Nicholas. So this movie really invested in that idea of like, well, let's bring all the gang together and just have them all working together to send this family to hell.
It's like the Monster Squad.
Yeah.
Huh. That's pretty cool that he
Except
drew
nobody
in.
has nards.
Nobody kills a vampire with pizza. Fat kid doesn't have a slice of pizza in his pocket. I love Monster Squad.
It's so great, but yeah,
So
that's
great,
just
man.
such a dumb idea. Like, oh, he's a fat kid. Of course he keeps a piece of pizza in his pocket.
Always. I love, though, that they brought in all of this stuff, like you said, to make it this perfect gang of, like, Scandinavian myth kid punishers.
Yeah.
It's like a dream team, you know?
A dream team of
sorts.
kid punishers.
Yeah, really, man.
Yeah.
That's really, really dope. And that's, one of the things that I was wondering, too, about is if the snowmen played into any of this myth.
Yeah, I didn't find anything in particular, though. It works well. I think it fits with the idea of, say, Frosty the Snowman, of a snowman coming to life. Like I think they were bringing out more than, because like with, say, the Nutcracker or TikTok. Like TikTok is just
It's just
toy
an
robot.
app. It's an app on your phone.
Yeah, that the Chinese government's using to spy on you.
Exactly.
It's weird. Don't use it.
But the thing that struck me about the snowmen in this is like, okay, whenever the snowmen first start appearing in the yard, it's like nobody built these.
Yeah.
And it's very creepy that you just suddenly have more and more snowmen gathering up in the yard. But they never become like sentient or like move or attack anybody. They're just there suddenly, and it's creepy. But is it just me, or do they correspond to when somebody in the movie dies, a snowman appears? Because, like, okay, when the first one appears, that's right after the tow truck driver guy has been killed.
Yeah.
That's when the first snowman appears. After the daughter is killed, that's when the second one appears.
I didn't even notice that.
After the little fat kid is dragged off, there's a little fat snowman in the yard.
So, yeah, they're representative, or maybe even they're entombed inside.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, is that what's going on?
Huh.
I'm not really sure, and maybe I'm looking into it too much, but it just seemed like they all coincided with whenever somebody died. There's
the fact
that
I just named all those names and told you all that means you can't be digging too far into this movie.
Probably. Yeah,
they had a lot of stuff in mind that they didn't just say explicitly. So yeah, I think you might be right.
Huh. Interesting. Well, and the thing is too is that, you know, knowing who directed this movie and knowing his other work makes me feel like this was certainly deliberate. I didn't know who directed this the first time that I watched it, but watching it this time, knowing who made it, I'm like, well, of fucking course, the guy that directed Trick or Treat made this.
Michael Dougherty, he directed Trick or Treat. He also directed recently Godzilla King of Monsters. He also wrote Trick or Treat and Godzilla King of Monsters.
Oh, wow.
And wrote X2, one of my favorite
comic no shit, he wrote that.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that.
And we'll be talking about him again in the future at some point when we cover Urban Legends Bloody Mary.
Oh my God. He did that?
He wrote it. He didn't direct it.
Wow. Wow.
So, yeah, Michael Dougherty, he's good. Like, he's so consistent as a director, it seems to me.
Yeah.
Like, you can't complain about any of the choices in this movie, I don't think.
Well, that's the thing too, is like after
there's one, but one for me, but it's not huge.
After having seen Trick or Treat so many times, and that's one of my favorite.
Yeah,
I watch it every Halloween.
Great for Halloween
movies. It's fucking fantastic. This movie is definitely covered with a lot of his hallmarks in terms of like there being a balance of stuff that's funny and there's some levity to it, but also stuff that is genuinely horrifying, but none of it really seeming out of place, like jerky. Like, what kind of movie am I watching now? Is this a comedy movie? Is this a scary movie? Whatever.
Yeah, he
does a really good job of blending those two elements together and making the humor element something very human in terms of how you'd probably be reacting in these situations, while also keeping stuff very scary and tense and horrifying.
I found it like I hadn't read that Michael Dougherty directed when I watched it again recently, and as soon as I saw Howie, the little kid, Howard's son,
Howard
I was
Jr.
like,
or whatever.
He looks like that kid in Trick or Treat.
Totally. Yeah,
and that's what they were going for.
Thurman Merman.
They were going for Thurman Merman. Yeah. I even wonder if it's possible that those two movies exist in the same universe. If that's possible, love for that to be true.
Love that, man.
I mean, that's possible because Michael Dougherty loves having comic book tie-ins to his movies.
Totally.
So there is a comic book tie-in to Trick or Treat that was written in like 2014 or something.
Oh, really? That's cool.
There's a comic book tie-in to this, and he also did he wrote Superman Returns, and so he was part of writing the story for 4 prequel issues of Superman that came out before Superman Returns. So this guy, like, he sees the value of fleshing things out outside of the movie. Which I really like. I like the idea that, like, inside the movie, we don't say these things specifically. Outside the movie, if you want to read the comic book and find out the deep mythology and all this stuff, it's there.
Yeah, it's there if you want it.
But for a 2-hour movie, we can't go into that.
Yeah, and you can also enjoy the movie without the additional reading
don't need
material.
To know all that stuff.
Well, and very similar too. I think that Trick or Treat and Krampus here have a very similar message in terms of people being punished for disrespecting the holiday or losing faith in the traditions of the holiday. I mean, that's all over Trick or Treat. I mean, Trick or Treat is just a bunch of people being punished for disrespecting the spirit of Halloween. And this movie is all about the consequences of Max losing his faith in Christmas and, fucking tearing up his wish list and throwing it away and stuff.
Do you think if Max had sent that letter, none of this would happen?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, because it would have showed that he kept the faith in the holiday.
But I mean, like, would his family be attacked? Because Omi, her story was basically that it wasn't until she gave up that everything happened. So it's kind of on the kid, it seems like.
Well, the thing is like, ultimately, at the end of the day, considering this movie closes showing us that this entire story has been happening inside of this little snow globe, it almost is as if Max is the center of whatever universe this is.
Yeah.
So I think that it would make sense that his decisions about the spirit of Christmas affect all reality, because clearly this entire snow globe universe he's in revolves around him.
Now, was that trying to indicate they had always been in the snow globe, or that they are now?
I don't know, right? That's the thing about the ending about this that I do think is really fascinating. Is you're right. It's like, have they been there all along? Are they trapped there in some kind of like Christmas Day purgatory?
It is so like white and silent the whole time outside that it does seem unreal. Like
totally.
The world outside their doors isn't real.
Well, and the thing is like, at the end there, whenever he wakes up and it's Christmas morning and all the family's back, nobody's dead and all that jazz, like it all seems so happy and idyllic. But once he pulls out that Krampus bell, you almost see everybody in the family start to remember what happened.
Yeah.
So maybe they are stuck in there as some sort of punishment or something.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say, honestly.
It is.
And I like how ambiguous that ending is, personally.
I do too. I really loved the ambiguity of the ending. The one thing that I would change about this movie is the toys popping up at the end.
That was
like
totally some studio exec's decision.
Yeah, because it's like we're being left with this empty, dark, hollow feeling
Very
at
bleak.
the end, and then hey, we're toys, and it's like, oh, fuck you.
Again with
like
this,
I was dealing with the emptiness of that. Now I'm completely not even thinking about that. So it seems like a bad choice.
I totally agree. I would have been very okay with just the fade out on Krampus's workshop and all those other little snow globes, because that is a very nihilistic kind of ending. Yeah. Without the little toys giving you one more little jump scare on the way out.
And maybe that's why they did it, to make people feel less nihilistic when they left. Like, if you want people to spread word of mouth, like, I saw this great movie, it's probably not going to happen if they feel like shit when they walk out.
Right. Well, here's the thing about this movie and its message, I think, about Christmas and keeping the faith and the spirit of the holiday and stuff. Max's Christmas wish list was nothing like a child's wish list as it would be today.
Like,
he didn't ask for things at all.
He was very giving and supportive. He was more interested in his family.
Yeah, he was just wishing his family would do better. Yeah, and other people get the attention they deserve and so on. Like, it wasn't about, I want this toy, I want a fucking pony or whatever.
Yeah.
It was all about wishing well for others. And the fact that he gave up on that, and that's what caused all this mayhem, I think also kind of ties in with the intro of the movie, which is fantastic. I think the intro to this movie is awesome, where it shows like a Black Friday shopping scene.
Oh yeah, to
most wonderful time of the year or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember.
And it's all got that like Vaseline lens, like idyllic, dreamy kind of holiday quality to it. And these people are just like ripping each other to shreds and punching the shit out of each other. It shows the humans as monsters because of this new idea of Christmas that we've adopted, where it is not really about wishing the best for others and hoping that others do well. It's about, like they say in Bad Santa, you got to get the shit. It has become this very commercialized, very materialistic holiday. So I think when this movie opens with that, it's showing us how Krampus isn't the only monster here. Like, people that go out and disgrace the holiday this way, this season of giving, by going out and punching a stranger in the face so you can get a fucking TV, that turns you into a monster.
I want to talk about that for a second, because this is interesting to me. I did some research on Christmas, of course, leading into this, but it just so happened there was a Reddit post about the commercialization of Christmas, and somebody left a comment that was really enlightening, that I already knew some of the facts but had never really put this together, that Christmas had been banned in England in the 17th century, basically because it was about getting drunk and getting stuff.
Huh. Yeah.
The Protestants.
That is what it's about.
That is what it's about. This is something that I kind of want Christmas movies to move away from. The central message to this, I don't agree with. This holiday is not about giving and sharing. It's about getting. Yeah, you're giving, but you're giving to get.
Uh-huh.
That's the reason. It's not about Jesus. It's not about any of that shit. It's about getting stuff. And it was before. And they banned it. And the Protestants who moved here, the pilgrims that came to this country, so actually this would have been 15th century.
Yeah?
Yeah. The pilgrims who came to this country didn't do Christmas. They thought it was evil to celebrate Christmas.
Opulent even.
The comeback of Christmas was from the writing of Charles Dickens, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And even in that, there are ghosts involved. And the thing that we do learn is that it's not about giving so much as not being a piece of shit. It really doesn't have so much to do with giving, because he could give Bob Cratchit, or is it Bob Cratchit? He could give Cratchit everything. He could buy him a new house. He could make all he does is bring over a goose.
In some versions, like in the Muppet one, he pays his mortgage.
Right.
Too. I don't know if that's
exactly,
in the
because the
original.
Muppets, they were thinking
They got it right.
the Muppets got it right. They were thinking well, he's got everything and he's giving him a goose. That's like what rich people today do when they say, I gave to charity. It's like, well, you owed $1.2 billion in taxes and you gave $100 million in charity. Not the same, bud.
Yeah, that's like me dropping half a penny.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not the same. So even in that, there's no real big revolution towards giving is the best, and that's what we should do. It's don't be greedy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still about getting, but also give.
Yeah. Well, there's that thing that Omi says in this, too, about how Krampus, he was only ever taking, like never giving and stuff like that. That's...
yeah.
Or wait, no, was that in the fucking...
No, that's this. Yeah, this is
because that's like how
the same as Ravenous, yeah.
Yeah, talking about the Wendigo and stuff.
I noticed that.
I got confused for a second. I was like, wait, was I thinking about last week's movie? No, it's both movies.
And that's what I think it is. I think that our postmodern consciousnesses have all come to accept everything as a duality. Whereas I think we used to be able to maintain dualities in our head and not worry about them. Like, people used to be okay with, Santa comes and gives presents, and Krampus comes and beats the bad kids. But we've, sort of merged it all, where it's just like, they're not even real. They're not even really a part of this. Your parents give you presents, and they give them to you regardless. You're going to get them. If you don't get them, in fact, you have bad parents.
They don't love you.
Everything is sort of reversed because we're trying to create this very clear duality where it's good Christmas behavior is giving and not thinking about yourself, and bad Christmas behavior is getting and only thinking about yourself. And the reality is that the two go together.
Yeah. You can't have one without the other.
Giving and getting. You're both feeling the joy of giving, but also feeling the joy of getting.
The shadow is cast by the light.
Yeah. This is why parents tend to not enjoy Christmas as much.
Yeah.
Which, the song that was playing at the beginning is It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like
That's
Christmas.
it.
And it has a line that I had never noticed, which is about the parents being tired of the kids being home.
They just can't wait for school to start again.
Yeah, Christmas and Thanksgiving, when you have kids specifically, it's not a joyous occasion until they get old enough to take care of themselves. Then it's like, oh, good, I get to see my kids and hang out with them. By that point, they got their own kids, so to them, it's not fun. There's just
The
this
cycle goes on.
Yeah, constant cycle.
I mean, I'll say, just because I already know somebody's fixing to correct us in their car as they're sitting in traffic. Like, I know to a lot of parents out there, they get super giddy to give their kids stuff. Yeah. I mean, whenever I give my nieces stuff, it gets me stoked to see them like really enjoy.
Oh, for sure.
Something that you give them too.
But it's
so
a lot of work, for
it's
sure.
a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and it
stress.
can be very rewarding, for sure. I've stayed up and like put together a tricycle for my niece and stuff so that she wakes up and thinks Santa brought it. That's all fun and games, but I also was tired and didn't want to wake up the next morning. It's a real, for kids, it's all about getting, and that's what they should be taught. I think I'm not even complaining about this. What I'm saying is that all the Christmas messages in movies are the opposite of what we should be telling kids. We should be telling kids, have a good time. Enjoy your presents. You don't have to think about how when you're an adult, it's going to be hard and you're going to be the one giving and not getting a lot of presents, maybe none at all. Like, you don't have to do all that. Just fucking go through have fun. The end.
It can be that simple.
It can be.
Right on. Now, this movie, I feel like, draws a lot of influence and definitely pays tribute and tips the hat to many classic Christmas movies.
It sure does.
Whenever it opens after that Black Friday scene, it opens on, what is it? Is it a Christmas Carol or something, isn't it? Somebody's watching a classic Christmas movie.
Oh, yeah. They're watching a Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. The words got me confused. Yeah. They're watching a Christmas Carol early in the movie.
And that and like It's a Wonderful Life, it's all about these people being tried and tested.
Yeah.
And then at the end they wake up and everything's okay again. Which is something that happens in this movie. Also something that happens in Home Alone. At the end, it's all okay. Everybody's back. Everything's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I did write down, this could be titled Home Together.
Together.
It's the premise of Home Alone minus him being alone. I think that's interesting. I never thought about this, but you just mentioning them in the same breath made me realize that It's a Wonderful Life is a Christmas Carol if the angel went to Cratchit instead of Scrooge.
Yeah.
If the angels were like, and instead of saying like, look at how bad you are, the angel was like, you've been a pretty cool dude.
Actually, you've been all right.
Yeah.
Maybe don't kill yourself.
Yeah. And then
it's a grim movie, dude.
Yeah. And then all the people who've been screwed over by the rich guy come to help this poor guy out. Not the rich guy.
It's true.
I think It's a Wonderful Life might have the strongest, most relatable message of the Christmas Carol movies.
You might be right.
Because they're not relatable. I don't get Scrooge. I don't get him. I've never had that much money. I've never been that greedy.
I've never been in a position to treat people beneath me like shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've never been that person. So reading that, it's just like, this is a monster. This person's a monster. I don't like him.
Yeah. Well, it just seems to kind of just strengthen up your damn the man attitude.
Yeah. I think It's a Wonderful Life was like, damn the man.
Yeah, it's like, well, my boss could not be a piece of shit, you know? Yeah, I think even the house that they're in looks like the John Hughes Home Alone house.
Yeah, and it looks like the neighborhood as well, because they're all nice houses, and
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like, too, like even the kids and stuff in this kind of have a bit of that vibe of that Home Alone family where there's just so many kids and so many cousins, and like they don't necessarily live the same kind of lifestyle, see eye to eye and stuff.
It's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation,
which is also Christmas Vacation. Yes, dude, that opening scene where Tony Collette and all them are getting the house ready, and the doorbell rings, and everybody knows it's their redneck cousins
and they're
family
dreading
showing up.
it.
Yeah, I mean that's Christmas Vacation, absolutely.
Yeah, and Dave Koechner does an amazing job as the Randy Quaid stand-in.
Yeah, he is absolutely
Randy.
It's Randy Quaid.
Yeah, Dennis is the handsome one.
Yeah. Hey, I think Randy is
that
quite
Randy,
dapper.
yeah. Whew.
But he's absolutely playing the Randy Quaid role with his fucking redneck ass family that he brings over.
There's so much, and that's I think something that's part of the Christmas tradition is tradition, and the fact that movie makers have noticed that pulling in tradition into your holiday movie will actually boost it, and if you can do it smart enough that it doesn't jump, because none of these jumped out the first time I watched Krampus. First time I watched Krampus, it was just a Christmas horror movie, and I was enjoying it. watching it through again, I see like, oh, they're relating back to this and this and this. They're pulling in on the tradition of all the movies you watch around Christmas and making you feel the same sort of way.
Yeah, that's true, because I think that they're realizing that not only do we associate the Christmas tree and lights and candles and eggnog and stuff, those are traditional Christmas images, but also now traditional Christmas images are National Lampoon's Home Alone.
Yeah.
Like, the movies that we watch are very much a part of our Christmas traditions.
Yeah.
You know, just like caroling and fucking the Yule log used to be for people of yesteryear.
Yeah.
So I think by bringing in a lot of those influences, and Gremlins is definitely a big influence here.
Yes.
Too, especially just how mischievous some of the little creatures are, and how they're cute but also scary. You know. But I think by bringing those things in, it really modernizes our idea of, you know, what we relate as Christmas in this day and age, which is a lot of our favorite movies.
I just realized the Jack in the Box Die Hard's it. He goes into the air vents to get away.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
yeah, he does.
So,
You're right.
Die Hard reference.
Die Hard is in here too. Damn, dude. Yeah, you're right.
It's all like the real sort of center of Christmas is tradition, because it comes from not just a celebration of Christ's birth, but it comes from all the pagan traditions that's trying to take from. I mean, you bring a tree into your house that has nothing to do with Jesus. It's all about pagan tradition.
Yeah,
like,
all of them.
Almost
all the Christian holidays are.
Yeah. Almost all of the major traditions of Christmas come from paganism. So, again, my point is that Christmas isn't about Jesus, it's not about Christ, and it's not just about giving. It's about giving and getting. It is a two-way street. If you don't get during Christmas, you only give, you don't get the full experience, I don't think. Because getting something feels nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's just an old set of tires.
Yeah, if it's just, something small. It's like, oh, I don't have to deal with that now. Thanks. Which is what Christmas is about.
Yeah, I think so, man. Now, the cast in this movie is dynamite.
They're amazing. Yeah, I can't... Like, I assume they spent most of their money on the effects and the cast.
Yeah.
Because these are all well-established people.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like you said, we got Adam Scott in there as the paterfamilias.
Yeah, we all know Adam Scott from Parks and Rec. At this time, he had been on Parks and Rec for a little bit. He had just done Party Down. What else is he in? He's in The Good Place. He's in so much stuff. And
very likable dude.
Very likable dude.
Maybe a little one-dimensional. I feel like he plays the same character a lot of the time.
Which is him. It's just Adam Scott.
And that's fine. I mean, dude, the world needs those guys.
Yes.
The world needs Christopher Walkens out there.
I mean, same with Dave Koechner.
Yeah.
He plays that same character
the
all
old
the time.
talk out of the side of my mouth guy and be obnoxious all the time.
Though, I mean, that's... Dave Koechner in his family life is not that way. He's just like... probably like a tenth of that.
Okay.
But like, yeah, when he gets on screen, he's like, oh yeah, I can pump this up to asshole real quick.
Totally. And he's that guy where it's like, if that name doesn't ring a bell, it's like, if you go to his IMDb or Google him, it's like, you'll see him be like, oh, I've seen him in like a million
Anchorman, for instance. He was the sports guy.
Yeah. Wasn't he in
Time.
Thank You for Smoking?
He was.
He's in that.
He's in a ton of stuff.
Tons of fucking
That's
things.
the thing I
Same
noticed.
with the Ant, dude.
Yeah, when I was going through all of their IMDb's, I was like, oh, yeah, they were going for solid people who had been doing this for a while.
Yeah, noteworthy character actors. The Ant, what is her name?
Conchata Ferrell.
What a crazy name. Like, she's, again...
Because she's just a full-on white lady and her name's Conchata.
Yeah, dude. And she, like, in every movie is just kind of like the sort of bitch, older white lady that...
she plays the same sort of character. Yeah, these are all...
character actors.
Yeah, except for Toni
Collette, who's a fucking marvel of an actress.
Well, Alison Tolman, I don't know. I think she plays herself pretty well in most roles. She's amazing in Fargo. She plays Pam Poovy's sister in Archer. Like, she's in a ton of stuff. But Conchata Ferrell, I have always had a positive association with her and never realized why. She was in L.A. Law, which was a show I loved when I was in third grade.
Never watched that. I don't know that. That doesn't sound like a third grader show.
It's not.
L.A. Law.
It's not. I wanted to be a lawyer because of L.A. Law.
No shit.
I did.
I had no idea.
And Conchata Ferrell was in it. She's also in 2.5 Men. I've seen her in a ton of commercials.
Isn't she in a bunch of like Adam Sandler movies and shit? Like she's in tons
so much
of
stuff.
comedies through the 90s and late 90s.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, I know that if I saw that name, like if I got a fucking letter from her with her name on it, I'd be like, I don't know who this is.
No
from.
idea.
I don't know her name.
Yeah, I mean, this is a running joke on BoJack Horseman about Margot Martindale. who is a character actress who you would immediately recognize
I don't
if you
know.
saw a picture of her.
You just said the name. I have no idea who you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a funny running joke that like, and it's true, and people need to it's like an automatic overlook when somebody's like, I want to be an actor, and everybody's like, you're no Tom Cruise, or you're no, it's like, you know, Tom Cruise doesn't perform every role in movies, right? Like, people just don't notice these people, even though they know them by face.
And that's how amazing they are, is because they just blend into the role that well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't think of him as that actor playing that character. Tom Cruise as Mission Impossible guy.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, that's fucking Adam Sandler's mom or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? They just disappear into those characters that way. And she in this is kind of the embodiment of like the in-laws in Christmas Vacation, where nothing's ever good enough. The little lights, they aren't twinkling. Like, she's just such a fucking negative bitch about everything.
Toni Collette's character had way more patience than I would have.
Dear Jesus,
like,
fuck no, man.
Because I'll work my ass off on a holiday meal. If I sat down to the holiday meal that I'd work my ass off of, and I heard one complaint, I'd just take their plate.
Oh yeah, I'd be like, well, you can get the fuck out.
Off you go.
Fucking ingrate. Get the fuck out of here. Hey, it's better than what you made. Get the fuck out of here. No, I'm totally with you, man. Yeah, she's like, this is better last year, or something like that.
Like, man, fuck you.
Get the fuck out. Yeah, that pretense that people put on that, like, I have to be polite because it's Christmas. No, you fucking don't.
No, you don't.
You do not.
I remember. Oh man. I hadn't seen my grandmother in a while, and this is when I was starting to gain weight. And the first thing she said to me was, "You got fat," and I was like, "Fuck you."
Fuck you, Granny. Yeah. You got old.
That's what I said. I said, "Fuck you," and then everybody kind of got quiet. My nanny laughed. And then we hugged.
All right, okay.
I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah. Those were being like, yeah, it was a dick thing to say.
Yeah, it was a dick thing.
Got it.
Yeah.
That works out.
Also in this movie, Seth Green and Justin Roiland and a guy named Breen Burns. They play
Seth Green?
They play the gingerbread men voices.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
One of those is Seth Green.
One of those is Seth Green.
You said that, and I was like, I was going through my head. I was like, who did I fucking forget he played in this movie?
And,
he's one of the gingerbread men?
Uh-huh.
Who'd you say the other ones were?
Justin Roiland, who is the creator and most of the voices on Rick and Morty.
Oh, no shit.
Uh-huh. In fact, the kid has both a robot chicken and a Rick and Morty poster in his
I noticed
room.
the robot chicken, dude.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny.
But the other guy, Breen Burns, I didn't recognize the name, but then I looked him up. Dr. Tran.
No way.
He's the guy who did the Dr. Tran stuff, and he's done a ton of stuff since then.
What?
Yeah.
I forgot about Dr.
Dr.
Tran.
Dr. Tran has a chat with a Mormon child.
I need to watch that shit
That's
again.
so funny.
So good, man. Dude, so they just did voices of the little cute CGI
and they were really just
man.
going, yeah.
I mean, it's basically like fucking Howie Mandel doing Gremlins.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Same shit.
But that's the thing, is they brought Howie Mandel in to do all the Gremlins, basically.
Yeah, which is nuts.
Yeah. They had some other people do some voices, but these three just came in to do me.
That is so funny, man. Interesting. I had no clue.
I imagine they're all just friends. Because, like, Todd
totally.
Casey, one of the writers, he writes on a bunch of cartoons. And
Seth Green is in all of that shit.
All that stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah, so really strong cast here.
I gotta say, though, the cast itself, and this is one of those things I would say is maybe something that was intentional, but at the same didn't make me like the movie more.
Uh-huh.
Characters not necessarily likable.
No, none of them are very likable.
You know?
Not even the protagonist, the kid.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, the movie
Anthony.
starts with him just like throwing in the towel and giving up on his dreams and stuff. His extended family, the redneck family, they're all fucking pieces of shit.
Yep.
They're all terrible.
Yep.
His older sister seems to support him and like be cool.
She doesn't seem to be a problem at all, and she's the first one of the family to get killed.
Yeah.
Which is great. I think they were subverting a horror trope there.
Yeah, absolutely so.
And showing you what Krampus is. Krampus is not here to get like righteous justice.
Right.
He's there to punish.
Well, ultimately, though, you know, what you were saying earlier about, like, would have all the family gotten punished if Max hadn't ripped up his letter and thrown it away and stuff? Ultimately, Krampus is, like, killing his whole family and stuff to punish Max.
Yeah.
So it's like the fact that they were good and stuff, and his sister was a good person, doesn't matter. She got killed to punish Max.
It sets up the rules, sets up the expectations, lets you know what this is getting into, with the idea then that if this girl's not safe, then the only people that are safe are probably the kids. Second person to get killed, a
Little kid.
Which then tells you, oh, nobody's gonna probably
This little
be
fat
safe.
Thurman Merman kid, right?
Yeah.
That kid who doesn't even have speaking lines. Like, that kid wasn't an asshole. He didn't
do
even
anything.
talk.
Yep.
So it really lets you know right off the bat, like, nobody is safe.
Nobody.
But at the same time, like, you know, even going back to like Home Alone and stuff like that, using that thing of this kid who is a fucking asshole, wished his parents would have, you know, never been born and left him alone at the house and stuff. And then he gets punished in the form of these, you know, wet bandits coming to break into his house and stuff. You still like the kid and care about him.
Yeah.
Like, Kevin McAllister is a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
But Macaulay Culkin...
He's adorable.
Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin.
Just has so much charisma as a kid where it's like you can't help but like him and root for him and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't quite feel the same attachment with like Max and some of the characters.
I think they were going for that too. I think they didn't want you to feel too attached. But then you do the thing is that you still feel, I do feel bad for them when these things are happening, because it's like, it doesn't matter.
Didn't deserve it.
It doesn't matter like how much you disagree with a couple people. If their kid gets killed, it's sad, doesn't it? Like if the biggest Trump supporter in the world's kid died, I wouldn't be like, yeah, fuck you and fuck Trump. It'd be like, oh, that's devastating and
that's
sad.
Terrible. Yeah.
So like it makes that actually feel more real and devastating because you don't like them, but you still feel that feeling towards
Okay, fair
them.
enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Now, I mean, obviously, if you're a sociopath, you can't empathize with people.
Can't empathize with
You
anybody.
just watch this and everybody dies, and it's like, yeah,
Cool.
that's great.
I think the only character in this movie that I really, really cared about was Omi.
Yeah,
who's the grandmother who's from what, Austria?
I think that's what they said was Austria. She's speaking German, and Austria is one of the places where it would have been. So
yeah, and her whole story about, you know, her as a kid, Krampus taking her family and stuff like that is told in that incredible
sweet animated
sequence, which is just out of nowhere in the middle of this movie. And I love that they took such a risk to do it that way, which again, them choosing to tell her story in the form of this, I suspect it's probably CG, but it looks like stop motion, little velveteen, fuzzy characters.
Yeah, it does.
Again, it's pulling at the heartstrings of Rudolph and The Year Without a Santa Claus and all those classic stop motion things that, again, are part of the
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, the film tradition that is now part of everybody's Christmas traditions. Yeah. Movies are a part of the Christmas tradition.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't have much of anything in regards to Christmas without movies at this point.
Totally.
Yeah, our Christmases would just be a boring meal and decorating.
Yeah. But then this movie pulling in that stop motion animation thing there for that middle sequence, I thought that was really, really fucking cool that they made that choice, and it is exquisitely well done. It looks so neat, man. And again, like, I don't know, maybe it is stop motion, because so much of the other effects and things in this are practical. But I love that in this, like, even whenever it shows like the little girl and she's standing by the fire, like the fire is like moving at like 3 frames per second, and it's like paper cutouts. It's like just moving erratically.
It looks great
to make it look more like stop motion if it wasn't actually stop motion. I love that sequence in the middle.
I think they can do that with a lot of computer animation software where it looks like, but so it was probably animated, but it looks great.
Yeah.
We should then talk about who did the effects for this.
Yeah.
Weta Workshop.
You might know about them from A Lord of a Ring.
From Meet the Feebles, Brain Dead, Lord of the Rings, they've been Peter Jackson's go-to. But, of course, they've also become famous.
Yeah. Well, the Lord of the Rings stuff really put them on top of the game.
They worked on Avatar, Mad Max Fury Road, Thor Ragnarok. Some movies we'll cover in the future. I mean, Lord of the Rings we talked about. 30 Days of Night we've covered.
Oh, yeah, they did that.
Yeah. Van Helsing we've talked about before. District 9. Frighteners.
Tons of stuff.
Just tons and tons
not
of movies.
necessarily all great movies.
No, not necessarily all
but
great.
Great
but
effects.
Great effects. Exactly.
For sure, man. Yeah, that
They
Weta
know what they're
Workshop
doing.
knows what the fuck is up. And this is obviously post Lord of the Rings. So
Yeah.
this is when they were probably in a position where they could have turned down whatever they didn't want to fucking do.
Yeah, so they did this
didn't-
because they wanted to do it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't need Krampus
No.
money. I mean, you said this had a $15 million budget.
Yeah.
Like, the effects department alone couldn't have even made that much money off of it.
No.
You know that they just geeked out and were like, we'll get to make crazy
Christmas toys.
animatronic, toys and
Yeah.
puppets
Yeah.
and animatronics and
sounds
just
fucking
animated
awesome,
sequence.
yeah.
Like, this sounds like an effects maker's dream.
Yeah.
You know, to get to do this stuff
To
in
get
a
to
modern
be
horror movie.
creative and really, like, you know, they probably only had minor guidelines, like, we need an angel character, we need...
Yeah, how would you
some
make a
toy
tree
type
topper angel look
characters, yeah.
demonic and
Exactly,
stuff?
yeah.
I think they fucking killed it.
Yeah, I think so too. It looks great.
The little monsters and stuff are like my favorite part of the movie by far.
Yeah.
I think that they look fucking fantastic. And it's like you said, they knew how to shoot them and stuff too.
Yeah, most of the shots are in the attic,
Mm-hmm.
which is only lit by a small window, so we really don't see much of
Yeah, it's more
anything.
shadow than
Yeah.
light.
But even when they're shown kind of brightly like the angel is, it still looks good because the premise is that it's not
Real.
real.
Yeah.
That it was a toy or a tree topper or whatever. So even if in those moments where you show it in full light, it looks fake, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, it's a toy robot.
Right, yeah.
Of course, it looks like a toy robot.
Well, that's kind of what we talked about with Chucky as well, right? Like, it had to be really fun making that animatronic and stuff, because if you make it look like a cheap toy,
Well, you nailed it.
yeah, it's not supposed like Chucky's not supposed to look like a human child.
Yeah.
It's supposed to look like a fucking doll that's walking around. So
Yeah.
in doing it that way, you kind of have this certain conceit where it's like, well, I don't have to make this thing look realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's a tree topper that's come to life really look like? Well, it looks like a fucking tree topper,
yeah.
but it's
like-
moving around and shit.
Exactly. So you kind of got a lot of leeway, a lot of
totally.
like room for creativity. I could see why you'd jump at this, especially if you don't have to worry about money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The little CGI gingerbread men, I think, are the weak link.
Yeah, they look. Are they even actually? They're not on set. That's definitely CG,
For
right?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. They just have that like slightly too
Yeah.
shiny, slightly too glossy, saturated look.
Yeah, because when they
about them.
they show Howie actually grab it from the back, it doesn't have like the same sort of volume.
Yeah,
to
have
it.
that weight
It
to
just
it.
looks like a graham cracker.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of the weak link, but honestly, pretty minor complaint.
Yeah, it's not a big complaint to have because even as it is CG, it doesn't look bad because it's not a CG human or a CG thing that exists in the world. It's a CG gingerbread man that's running around.
Right.
It's like even though it sticks out a little, I think they could have maybe worked on the like blending it into the lighting a little better. It seems a little too colorful.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're like too saturated looking. Like real gingerbread doesn't look that saturated. It's a very plain brown kind of color.
But
you
then
know?
that maybe is less entertaining. I'm sure they fucked around with it.
Yeah,
I
for
doubt
sure.
somebody made it and was like, there you go.
Well, and
No
honestly,
notes.
too, I mean, if it wasn't juxtaposed against these really excellent practical
Yeah.
monsters and
It
stuff
wouldn't
we see
even
the rest of
stand
the movie,
out.
yeah, it would probably be like,
Yeah.
it's fine. It looks like normal special effects, but
Yeah.
when it's up against things that look so great and so
Yeah.
real and tangible,
Yeah, it does fail.
Makes
then.
them suffer a little bit.
It doesn't look nearly as cool as that teddy bear head.
and even like later on towards the end of the movie, whenever Max meets up with Krampus and he's got his sleigh with those crazy like demon elk and shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's CG and that looks pretty fucking dope.
Yeah.
That looks pretty good.
It does.
And then Krampus opens up that big like hell pit of like molten lava and stuff. Which kind of goes back to some of that. I think it's, oh shit, man, I'm going to lose so much metal cred because of this. Because over in, I want to say it's Finland, there is the place called Dimmu Borgir, like the band.
Yeah.
which has been adopted into where Santa lives. And it's like at the base of this like volcanic magma shit.
Okay.
That's where Santa lives over there.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about where Santa lives in Finland. It's also a mountain.
Yeah, exactly.
In rear exports. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
People tend to attribute Santa with a pretty awesome ass home. I mean, living on the North Pole is metal as fuck.
Well, you'd want to be somewhere warm, like near fucking magma.
Yeah.
If you lived in the middle of damn Iceland or Finland or wherever it is that myth I'm talking about is from.
That makes sense.
So even him like opening up this portal to this hell magma stuff is actually kind of
rosy
Christmassy.
cheeks.
Yeah, that's it.
Not alcoholism.
And two, dude, man, like they're towards the end when the family is just getting slaughtered.
Yeah.
I mean, people are getting dropped into that magma.
Silent Night.
Woof.
A very like mild rendition of Silent Night playing as
steeped in Christendom
as
too.
children are being killed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whole families and children.
Yeah.
It gets really bleak. Like it's not necessarily all that brutal and gory. I think I would have been okay if it was. Like, if we had a little bit more, like, some fucking red snow.
Yeah, that would have been
You know what I
cool.
mean? That would have been okay by me. Is this R or is it PG-13?
I believe it's R.
Double check that.
Yeah.
Put Fuzzbead on that one.
Fuzzbead.
Yeah, we need to get our assistant Fuzzbead in here and get him to check that out, because I feel like it's PG-13. I don't feel like anything in this is, like, hard enough for it to be an R, other than the fact that, you know, little kids saying families getting killed at Christmas is pretty fucking bleak. But even without all that much like on-screen gore and brutality, it is, and again, I'll just use that word again, surprisingly bleak.
Yep, you're right. It's PG-13.
PG-13?
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of the hardest PG-13s.
Yeah, it's a hard PG-13 for sure. Yeah. Wow. So yeah, you're right. I mean, like, there really is like zero blood. I can't think of.
I think whenever Howard gets like his leg bitten.
Oh, we see some blood. Yeah, when they look
it's not
at the
explicit.
wound.
I mean, it's like blood through jeans.
It's not like squirting or anything. It's just, you're right. This is
not a lot of screen violence.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of bleak PG-13 movies.
You know, especially at Christmas and with kids and whole families and all that jazz. Yeah, this does get pretty fucking dark there towards the end, which I was stoked about. I was happy about.
Yeah, I liked it.
It's interesting too how like at the end of the movie, they don't necessarily all say, "Let's set aside our differences. We stick together because we're family and we love each other."
That never happens.
That doesn't happen.
No,
they never touch on that.
Nope. Wow.
Yeah.
I want to talk about something that is going on in the family that I think is interesting. Okay, so we know that Allison Tolman and Dave Koechner, Howard and whatever her name is, we know that they are conservative because they make a statement where they're like, why do rich people get all this free stuff? And Allison Tolman says, I don't know, Democrats probably.
Yeah.
Which is such an interesting truth where
that's
it's just
such
like
a Facebook truth.
Yeah, such a Facebook truth where it's like, you really think the Democrats are the ones giving the rich people all this stuff? Now, they do all the fucking time.
Well, yeah,
but it's
all of them, yeah.
It's not their sole goal, which seems to be the GOP's entire goal. But they set up the idea that they're conservative. And there's also the concept, they say, like, in the letter, they never read it out loud, but it seems to say that the dad wishes the two girls were boys.
That's actually said out loud at some point in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the two daughters that are, I guess they're twins, right? Or are they just
they're
older
about
and
the same age, or they might be twins, because they look the same age to me, but all kids that age,
they all kind of look the same.
They all look the same, yeah.
But yeah, there's this message about how the dad wanted to have boys instead, and they're very tomboyish.
And I think that when the girl that reads it, I think his name's Stevie. They're Stevie and Jordan, and I can't remember which is which, but I believe Stevie is the one with the glasses.
Those are just masculine names.
Yeah. She says, "Shut up! Our dad doesn't wish we were boys." And I realized, because like watching it the first few times is like, oh, they're in denial, and then I realized watching it through this time, it's like, wait a second, like what she's saying is definitively, no, we make these choices to be these people.
Mm-hmm.
That's who we are.
Okay, yeah.
Like, the dad doesn't have to force them into liking hunting. They like it. They're wrestling with each other. The dad doesn't have to force them to wrestle. They just do it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this other thing going on where these two sides of the family have completely misunderstood each other. Where I would assume the son has heard the parents talking about how they raise their kids. Because when do kids talk about how other people are raising their kids?
Mm-hmm.
So I assume the parents have had this conversation where it's like, and their daughters, they raise them like they're boys. They wish they were boys. And it turns out that these girls just are that way. They like these things. You can't force people to be a specific way just because you're their parent. When you do that, they do it unhappily. These girls are doing these things happily.
That's true.
That is who they are.
Yeah.
So, like, even in trying to be good in the letter, the kid is working off of a lack of information. Like, he notices that his parents aren't happy, but he doesn't know what's going on, and we never find out what's going on. And in fact, they have conversations throughout where it's like, oh, I bet they actually are happy. They're just busy. They don't get to do as much stuff together as they'd like to. So the kid puts these together and thinks, like, from
this or that.
From a kid's perspective, like, there are these things that are happening that show that my parents aren't happy together. Because you don't have the perspective of, I have to go to work and I have to make meals and I have to do all these things. And when you go to sleep, I can hang out with my husband. So, like, I think his letter is entirely misguided.
Huh. It means well,
It means well, but it's not reflecting the truth. And, you know, I would say for sure that Howard and his family suck and I wouldn't want to hang out with them. But I don't think they're putting on any sort of show. Even the girls. I don't think they're putting on a show for their dad to impress him. I think everybody is just who they are, and the kid misunderstands from a kid's mentality. And I'm not sure what that means. Like, I'm not sure what it means as far as the themes.
I think it's probably trying to show a little bit of balance between the two sides, where it's like, not all right-wing people are dumb rednecks that wear camouflage to Christmas. Yeah. Not all left-wingers are super informed, always right about everything.
Right, and live in these nice houses.
Yeah, they make assumptions about the other side that are incorrect, too.
So there's a lot of assumption, a lot of assuming going on.
I hadn't thought about that.
And a lack of communication, as you said. They never do get together and say, let's do this.
Yeah, like, put our differences aside.
Yeah, they like, early on, we get Adam Scott and David Koechner, like, going out together, but even then, it's like begrudgingly. They're not like friends or anything.
Well, again, that's very National Lampoons.
And because of Adam Scott saving him, Dave Koechner has some respect for him after that, but then even then he insists on, like, going out by himself, and, like, that's when we see, like, all the snowmen outside, which I would assume, coming from your theory, are all the people in the neighborhood. So they're being shown these corpses, but they're also being intimidated into staying in the house. But he had already made a choice outside of the group's interests. This is probably near the third act of the movie. It's so far into the movie that we find out that he hasn't changed. Nobody's changed. This is not a growing experience, and a learning experience. This is punishment. All of it. Yeah. There's no changing. Nobody becomes better. Nothing improves.
Right.
They're just being tortured.
Which is kind of going back to where this started. It's like, that's just what Krampus did.
He just punishes.
Just to punish.
There's no message to it. There's no, like, be good next year. It's just, well, no, you got punished because you were bad.
Yeah.
The end.
I'd be really interested to see if this director continues that theme where he loves to apparently make movies that take place at holidays that have, you know, people that are disregarding or disrespecting the traditions and suffering consequences. I'm like, imagine if he made a fucking, President's Day movie.
Yeah,
it gets like hyper political.
Let's hope
and shit.
He doesn't get into that rut. That would be fun, though. I think. Yeah, President's Day.
He's just the holiday movie guy. Yeah, Thanksgiving. Yeah, like he does an Easter movie. Now that could be way fucked up. Way fucked up, man.
Yeah, I like that idea. Actually.
Yeah. If they ever made another Krampus, I would totally watch it. He kind of hinted at, even in some interview, he even hinted at the fact that, Krampus's face is never revealed, as that's some kind of secret he's keeping for himself, just in case they ever do make a sequel. If they ever did make another one, I would totally watch it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This is fun, man. It's a fun movie.
It's a fun movie.
It's not too long.
It's like an hour 30. Yeah, it's really not bad.
It's got some funny elements in there. It's got some great actors and actresses in it. Great practical special effects. Again, it's like ultimately at the end of the day, I don't care about the people all that much. So when things are like going south, I'm not like, oh no, that fucking character died. They couldn't.
You're just watching it play out.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't really exactly say that I was very invested in the characters, but I was invested in the story and watching what happens next, you know? You got any final thoughts, critiques about this thing?
Yeah. I think what you were just saying about the lack of connection to them is true. I think it's intentional, so I can't say it's a negative, but it is kind of a negative because I don't feel too much for him. I don't feel very connected.
Right. I mean, Clark Griswold's a fucking asshole, but at the end of the day, it's like, you want to see him do well.
Right. Whereas in this, everybody kind of sucks, and it just... And maybe they kind of deserve to be punished, right?
Yeah.
They've lost the spirit.
And maybe at the end of the day, too, it's because the action really does start very fast.
Oh,
it's
like,
I think within the first 15 minutes.
And we see the
Krampus.
creature.
Yeah, jumping from rooftop to rooftop. Looking fucking awesome.
That's ballsy as shit because they knew he was so intimidating and there were actually so many layers to Krampus that they could show it immediately and there would still be more scary moments. Like seeing him on the roof, it's like, I think he's big. Then you see him next to the truck while she's under it, and it's like, oh, he's very big.
Yeah. Well, and then too, like the thing about it is because the marketing was all Krampus, and the movie's called Krampus. And you see Krampus so early on in the movie that later on, when it's actually like Krampus and his gang of elves and toys and all this other fucked up shit you weren't expecting, it makes that actually more surprising and better because you thought you've seen the big bad at that point, but you've not seen his buddies.
Yeah, you've just seen the guy in charge. You haven't seen all of his little torturers that he uses to fuck with families. Yeah.
But maybe the fact that the action starts so early on, maybe we just didn't quite have enough time to like bond with those characters.
Yeah.
I mean, even the fact that like that opening montage of the movie with the Black Friday thing, I love it, but it is like probably 5 minutes of slow motion.
It's pretty slow.
Could have been used to spend more time with these characters that we're supposed to be following.
I think, you could...
Or maybe they wanted it that way.
You could probably pump it up to add 10 minutes.
Yeah, totally.
And give us enough characterization to care more. Because, like, specifically, I would say Adam Scott and Toni Collette, they get their sort of side conversations and stuff, but those don't happen until the action is kind of kicked off.
Exactly.
It would be nice to at least be brought into what's going on with them. Like, are they having marital troubles, or is the kid... Because it seems to me they're not. It seems that there's just some stress because of the holidays and the family coming over.
Totally, yeah.
But if they had established that they were, that might have helped me feel more for them. If they had established that they weren't, that they were specifically like a very loving couple, that would have given me more insight. Instead, there's not a lot of connection to them. I think it's intentional, but I think it's a bad choice.
Maybe. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at too. Yeah. It seems like maybe they meant to, but maybe it would have been better if they didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a minor complaint though, because honestly, the disconnect from them is fine in the end, because this is really about torturing people. It's really just in the back. End,
like all these classic Christmas tales. Yeah. I mean, fucking all of them are.
It's all about punishment, and I think this movie embraced that. It embraced the idea of punishment, and it was like, how would that play out? What would that look like? And then here it is. So it does that well. Even though I'd kind of want. I don't know. Do I want more exposition in this? Do I want something a little more?
I think so, because like if you really liked Max and his family,
it
would also make you dislike the asshole people more.
Yeah. And then you can come to know them and like them.
Yeah.
Whereas if the family that we're supposed to like, we don't really care much about, and then this other family comes along and they're assholes, it's like, well, yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
so what?
So are
I don't
they,
really
whatever.
care. Yeah, I don't really care. But yeah, if we had cared more about the family, then they would appear more asshole-ish. And then the moments with like Allison Tolman and Toni Collette where they're kind of bonding, those would mean more.
Totally
Yeah.
agree.
Huh. Yeah, I think that's definitely a detriment. It could have been improved. Other than that, I don't know. I kind of wish the DHL delivery guy wasn't there to
Yeah.
give us more of a completely sequestered, like
Isolated.
yeah,
totally.
fully. Like I like the fact that the snowplow is there and empty, which it gives you an idea of like, oh no, like there's been a lot of shit going on. But the DHL guy showing up and then dying without us even seeing it, I think that could have just been cut.
Probably.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you could have another reason for them to walk out on the porch and see this bag of gifts. So yeah, I think there are a few minor tweaks, but overall, this is a fun horror holiday movie, and I love watching horror movies around Christmas. So I'm probably gonna give this a higher score than it might deserve, but for me, it's like a 8.5.
Yeah.
8.5.
I can dig that.
Yeah.
I can dig that. Yeah, it's one of those things that I automatically like this more because it has a place and a time
Yeah.
and a look, and I know where it goes in the year, and
Yeah.
I'll feel warmer and fuzzier about it because it takes place at Christmas, and I watch it at Christmas than I would if this was just like a family gets stuck in a blizzard in February. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
that automatically, just the subject matter and time and place, make it better than it would have been otherwise.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
I think that ultimately, at the end of the day, my only really big complaints are, wish I would have liked the main family more. Wish there would have been more blood and guts and gore.
Right.
If this got a little bit more brutal,
Yeah.
I mean, it really let you know that the stakes are high,
Yeah.
and that all bets are off whenever, like we said, children are getting killed immediately
Yeah.
for doing nothing. That's pretty fucked up.
It
But
is.
I think if it would have kind of showed us also it's very brutal and like miserable and shocking, that would have made me even more on edge.
It
you know?
would have helped. Yeah.
So I think other than that, I can't really complain about much. I'm a little lower than you. I think I'm gonna say this is like a solid. I'm gonna say like a 7 for
Okay.
me. I think it's a 7.
I'm fine with that.
If Kate wanted to watch again next year, I'll be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. The connection with the holiday does give it it does increase the likelihood that I'll watch it several more times.
Totally.
Whereas there are other horror movies that I've liked more or equally that I'll probably not get around to watching again because there's
There'll go
just
years in between times you watch
there's
it.
just
yeah.
not a particular reason to.
Right.
But because it is the holiday, it's like, oh yeah, watch some Christmas horror.
Totally. Well, and that's the thing too, is like considering there's not all that many Christmas horror movies,
Yeah.
there's a reason to watch it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, watching all this sappy Hallmark stuff like I've been watching lately, you want to watch a Christmas horror flick every now and then,
Yeah.
and this is a pretty damn good one to do it with. So overall, a fun flick. I definitely recommend that you guys check it out and let us know your favorite Christmas horror movies and
Yeah.
stuff over there on that Facebook group.
I'd love
and everything
to
too.
find some more. I mean, I know I haven't watched Dial Code Santa yet, but I've seen, I think, basically, other than Anna and the Apocalypse, which I couldn't get all the way through, I've seen most every Christmas horror movie, and I always find it interesting. People really are creeped out by Santa. I mean, Santa never creeped me out.
I was always
like,
terrified of Santa.
the very concept of this guy who can easily get into your house
Yeah.
and his magic
Yeah.
is kind of creepy.
My parents had to tell me really early on, like really early, like I never remember believing in Santa. They had to tell me early on because I was so fucking freaked out about a stranger coming into my house in the middle of the night. They had to be like, okay, the other kids at school, don't tell them, but this isn't real, you know? Just to keep me from freaking out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I
That's
understand
really
that.
funny.
Yeah, so Christmas is a good place to put a scary movie, man.
I can just imagine from the parent side being like, oh, this is going to be so fun. Let's go
Magical.
tell little Ben the story of Santa.
Yeah, he's
And
gonna
you're
come
telling
down the
it,
chimney and
and
give
you
him
see
presents.
his face go,
Oh my
no.
God! He's gonna come into my house? I don't know this fucking guy.
okay, we're making it up. We're making it up.
Had to be a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
Well, next week is going to be what is it? Does this come out on Christmas
No, this
Day?
comes out the week before Christmas.
Well, I mean, but the next episode.
Oh, the next one, yep. Mhm.
Wow, man.
Comes out on the 25th of December.
Damn. Okay, and we are winding up a very special, super mega wild card choice for you guys, and we like to make these things long, strong, and
sure to get the
down
friction
to get
on.
the friction on.
Yeah.
Because, Christmas, I have a good time. It's fun. It's always good seeing family and stuff like that. But you know what? Christmas is a really fucking lonely, miserable time for a lot of people
It's true.
out there. So I want to keep you bustas busy
Yep.
and give you guys a slice of a mega dose podcast
Yeah.
that I'm sure is going to be huge
Ridiculous.
and a ton of fun.
Or
Because
45 minutes.
No, we're 45 minutes. Yeah, one or the other. Because next week on the show, we are dropping out Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring on you guys.
I'll be watching the extended edition
Oh,
and referring to
obviously.
the extended edition, but it's up to you. Whatever you want to do. And I know we've gotten some comments and stuff from some of the listeners who absolutely hate Lord of the Rings.
Oh my God, dude.
So
This episode's not going to be for y'all because I'm going to, spoiler alert here, we fucking love
I do.
Lord of the
I
Rings.
love the Lord of the Rings.
We
movies.
love the Lord of the Rings.
Oh shit! We'll get to talk about Weta again too.
Oh, yeah. That's
This is
true.
weird. The last few episodes have all sort of
All tied
flown
in.
into one another.
Yeah, all chained together.
Crazy.
Yeah, so next week is going to be a big one for you guys. And you know what? This coming out the week before Christmas, if you start the extended edition of Fellowship of the Ring right now,
You'll be done with it.
yeah, you'll finish it just in time for the episode
Yeah.
to come out. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to covering that one. In the meantime, you guys be sure to follow us on all social media outlets.
At Dead Lovely Pod on Twitter and Instagram. It's facebook.com/Dead and Lovely for the Facebook group. We also have email at deadandlovelypod@gmail.com. But you know where you really need to go?
I don't know. Somewhere that I can maybe show my support for the show in the form of monetary
That's the one.
goods. Oh,
Patreon.
Patreon, it's called.
Patreon.com/Dead and Lovely. Go over there. Become a $5 donor, patron, whatever it's called.
That's what it is. Donor patron.
Become a $5 patron, and you will get to submit a movie for our random drawings each month. I'll tell you what, we did Krampus, Ravenous
Was a pick. Yeah.
yeah, and what was the first we did this month?
Yeah, we did another one there. What was it? I don't fucking remember, dude.
I don't remember. Anyway, the last 3 episodes have all been Patreon suggestions, so we really take those seriously. If you want to become a $5 patron, we will more than likely get to your movie
Totally.
pretty quickly.
And if you say, well, I don't have a $5, I have a $3 or a $1,
Hey,
you can donate that too.
go on over there, donate that too. You donate as much as you want, honestly. If you want to give us 50 cents, I'll send you the PayPal link.
Boom.
I'll take 50 cents.
Yeah, you're damn right. You'll be up in the club with that
Hell
50
yeah.
cents. 50 cents, he's called.
With 50 cents and I.
50 cents in the club.
Mr. 50.
Just call me Dollar Bill. So yeah, you guys be sure to check out that Patreon if you want to say thanks for all the free podcasts and the lulls and all that other jazz. You guys have been fantastic. I hope everybody is having themselves simply a wonderful Christmas time. I hope you're simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Does that song make you mad? Apparently a lot of people fucking
do
hate that
it.
song.
I don't like the song. It doesn't make
I
me
like
mad.
it. I'm a fan.
I like if it's on, it's fine with me. I don't even notice it.
Yeah.
But if I start listening to the lyrics, yeah.
I'll seek that motherfucker out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll be like, Alexa, play Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time. And then my wife is like, my middle name is Alexandria. It's not Alexa.
It's close.
It's close.
Also,
and say please, bitch.
bitch.
Yeah. That's usually what happens around here. It
That
happens.
sounds like Kate.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, you guys be sure to tune in next week. Have yourself a good old Christmas. Or don't if you don't want to celebrate Christmas. Doesn't hurt my feelings.
That's true.
Yeah.
You can celebrate or not celebrate, whatever the hell you want.
Hell yeah.
I don't care. I'm not
Free
celebrating
country.
Christmas because I love Jesus.
Fuck no.
I'm celebrating Christmas because I get presents.
Yeah.
It's the best.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have been fantastic. We've been Dead and Lovely, and we will see you guys next week. So I'm thinking about starting this YouTube guitar tutorial series.
Mm-hmm.
that's all about the essentials of like heavy metal rhythm guitar playing, like doing those big heavy chugging palm mutes and stuff.
Yeah.
But also lead guitar playing stuff, like how to like bend the strings and things like that, right?
All right.
I'm thinking about calling it Chugging and Tugging.
Chugging and tugging.
I think that's a good title,
Yeah,
right?
Uh-huh.
I don't think anybody will like
The old chug and tug.
misunderstand what it's about,
Yeah.
do you?
About to go up on stage, do some chugging and tugging.
Chugging and Tugging, kids. Hey, kids, it's your buddy Uncle Ben. I'm going to tell you all about Chugging and Tugging.
I want him to teach my child guitar.